Welcome back to Second and Short. It is Friday, September 13th, 2024. We are back. So much going on right now. NFL Week 1 last week was a super fun time. We recapped every single game on Monday's episode. We also had college football going on. We've got college football again this weekend. A great way to warm up for that. We just put out the first episode of the college football show, the Second and Short college football show. I took it solo this week. That sounded weird. But I went on a solo mission with that video, and if you guys want me to do things with that video, change anything, just go watch it. Let me know. I obviously ask for your feedback in that video, but please give us any recommendations for how we could change up that video, or maybe it's perfect already. I don't know. But please go check that one out. Of course, we've got Premier League going on this weekend. We're kind of starting to heat up now for MLB. MLB playoffs are starting to become much more of a conversation as we roll into about the halfway point here in September. We've got the Champions League starting up next week. Just a lot of fun stuff going on. Or I think maybe the week after next. I can't quite remember. But got a lot of fun stuff coming up. Luke, how are you doing, man? This is maybe the best time of the year.
Yeah, but no, it really is. That fall weather's creeping in.
Oh,
We
yeah.
got Hurricane Francine out there in the Gulf.
No idea.
I hope everybody's doing okay, but
Yeah.
we're finally starting to get some weather in Athens. But yeah, I've been loving it. The windows are open in the apartment. It's a good day.
Yeah, dude. When I checked my phone and I saw high of 76, oh man. Oh, it
I
sank
know.
in. Like, dude, last night I was working on editing that college football show video, and I was like, man, it's cold in here. Like, I had to put on a hoodie sitting inside
Yeah.
while I was editing because it was just
Uh-huh.
like kind of chilly in here. And that was like such a nice feeling. To like go into the
It's
closet
it's
and
uh
just grab a hoodie.
it's almost the sweater and hoodies and shorts weather.
I can't wait. I really
Me
can't.
too.
It's my favorite time of the year. It really is.
Yes.
There's so many good things to watch on sports. There's so many just fun things going on in general. I'm super excited for it. I know you are as well. I don't have anything else I want to talk about at the top of the show. So we'll go through NFL Week 2 preview, talk about all the games a little bit of an MLB recap as well. We got Premier League matches resuming this weekend after the international break. And then we're going to do a little bit of a Champions League stage preview just to talk about some of the teams that are in there, some of the ones that we're looking at to maybe look good. And then we've got questions time, which shout out to Nathan. He got the questions submitted before I even had to remind him or ask or anything. He got them already in there. So shout out Nathan for that.
The stars are aligning.
The stars are aligning for a fantastic episode of Second and Short. So before we get into anything, make sure you like, subscribe, comment here on YouTube. Once you've subscribed, turn on those
Yes.
post notifications. You join the Second and Short subreddit, and you can submit questions before I have to remind you. And then you won't have to worry about Nathan posting the questions on time or not. If you guys submit your questions there, it's going to be r/2nd A&D short. Get them in by 5 p.m. on Thursdays, and we will answer them here on the podcast. I think that's every podcast listeners. Rate 5 stars. Give us a follow. Luke, you ready to talk NFL Week 2?
Let's do it. We got a heater for Thursday Night Football, dude.
Yes, we do. We do have a heater for Thursday Night Football that is starting in a mere, I think, hour and a half or so. So let's talk about it. Bills versus Dolphins here on Thursday Night Football, the first Amazon game of the season. Very interested in seeing how this one goes.
Yeah, two teams that in week 1 didn't really. There were a lot of negatives about both of their
Yeah.
games.
Yeah.
I mean, the Cardinals putting up 28 is a very telling one. And the Dolphins only beating the Jags by 3.
Yeah.
Also, kind of a telling story there. So I'm excited for this one.
Yeah, the Bills are really coming off of an interesting performance, I would say. With the Cardinals, it's like, yes, the offense was putting up points, but we already know that Arizona's not the best defense. And then the defense for the Bills did not look good, but they were stopping some of the right people. Like Marvin Harrison Jr. was a
Yeah.
complete non-factor, but it didn't even look like he was trying. Like, I know there's the clip that everybody's seen already of him wide ass open in the end zone, and Kyler just not even looking at him. And then Kyler at a press conference saying, like, it's not my job to get him the ball, which it actually is. Like, not him
Yeah.
particularly, but It's your job to get the ball to the receivers that are going to score points for you. Um,
Yeah.
so look, I know, look, okay, well, Kyler's job is play Call of Duty, then be a quarterback. So I can understand where that comes from. Um,
Yeah.
but that was very interesting. And also Marvin Harrison Jr., like not running full speed is what people are saying. Like he was like 2 miles per hour slower than every like wide receiver in like the top 15 in miles per hour. And like he's supposed to
Yeah,
be a
he
relatively fast wide receiver.
apparently he was like clocked at like 16 point like
Yeah.
67 miles an hour at like his fastest,
Yeah.
which I guess is low
It is
compared to a lot of wide receivers.
for his style of receiver, for sure.
Yeah, which that could have been kind of telling of Kyler Murray's press conference as well. Maybe he saw earlier in the game that like, hey, this motherfucker might not be giving me 100%.
Yeah.
So I don't know.
Yeah, Marvin Harrison Jr. has kind of put himself in a weird spot with this whole Fanatics lawsuit, like already going on with him and his dad, and like not signing immediately, and then not signing with the NFLPA immediately, and then not signing with Fanatics, and causing all those issues. Like, it just seems like there's been a lot more trouble than what you want out of a first round draft pick, let alone a top, what, 4 pick.
Yeah, no, for sure. I
Um,
agree.
on the Dolphins side, because we're not even talking about the Cardinals. On the Dolphins side, you were
That's a
right.
good point.
Yeah, they're coming off a super close game with the Jags, like you said. I did kind of predict that. I said either the Dolphins are going to run away with this one early, or we're going to have like a super close game all the way to the end. The Jaguars did have a close game with them, but the Jaguars' offense is weird. I think the Bills' offense looked a lot better than what the Dolphins saw last week, and so that could change some things. Obviously, we're not going to go too much further on this game just because you guys already know what happened because you're listening to this on Friday. But for me, I don't know how to feel just yet about the Dolphins because I don't know how I feel about the Jags yet. And
Yeah.
with the Bills, it's like I already kind of have an idea of where I'm at with the Cardinals, where it's like their offense can be good at times, but the defense is always going to be a problem. And that's what they showed last week. And that's what I already thought about them. So I just think I trust the Bills a little bit more, but this is definitely where I want to see them really establish what the offense is going to look like. Because it was kind of all over the place last week, and it was week 1, so you get it. But it's like I need to figure out the hierarchy in the wide receiver room for this team. I need to figure out how often James Cook and Josh Allen are going to be running the ball. That's what I'm trying to see as we move forward from the Bills. And I think this is going to be a pretty good game to see that because this is a big matchup for them early in the season.
Yeah, I think for me on the Dolphins side, they just have to honestly get in the end zone more. I mean, look, you threw for 338 yards
Yeah.
through Tua, and only putting up 20 points is just kind of bizarre. And I know they kind of had some trouble in the run game. Like I mean, looking at the box score here, they had a whole committee get
Yeah.
out there and try running the ball, and Raheem Mostert looked like garbage, just getting stopped left and right.
And he's, I think,
I don't know.
out this week.
Yeah. I think for Miami, I would honestly try to get out there more with Tua, more
Yeah.
scramble rushing plays, just
He
to
just
kind of
doesn't
set
run,
up.
though.
Yeah, but I think he could.
He
I think
could,
he
but it's
could.
not his thing, especially being a lefty quarterback of his size, like his stature. He's going to have to, like, because you can't just roll out to your right like most would. Most guys would roll it to the right and then back up to the left and run. That doesn't work with his stance. Whereas, like, a Michael Vick, who was a lefty that ran, it makes more sense because he's extremely fast. Tua's not really in a position where he wants to scramble outside the pocket in the first place. And so as soon as he leaves the pocket, a linebacker is going to collapse on him. He's not going to have the breakaway speed to get past them.
That is true, but then again, like you're also seeing quarterbacks kind of with like the QB draw plays where like they step back, set, and then they just run up the middle.
Yeah.
I don't think the Dolphins do a lot of that, and I think they could implement a more. I think honestly, watching Justin Fields against the Falcons last week, I think every offense, honestly, no matter what quarterback they have, should take more opportunities doing that little quarterback draw. I think it's a great play,
Okay, but
especially if there's
you
no
can't use
linebackers in
Justin
there.
Fields as the example of quarterback because he's like
Well,
no he is not like any other quarterback in the NFL. He is
that's what every
10
quarterback
times
should
better
strive
at
to be.
running than anything that he does at all.
That is true, but I think it's a broken play that more teams could utilize.
I just think there's certain teams that can, there's certain teams that can't. The Steelers are super good up front, especially on the interior line. They're a bigger team on the interior line. It makes sense for them to be able to do that, and they're exploiting the fact that the Falcons didn't have a spy on Justin Fields at all times. And then if you look at even like the Ravens, they don't do that with Lamar. Like Lamar doesn't really do QB draws. It's a lot more options. It's a lot more of him running to the outside. So it just depends on the style of offense. I just don't think the Dolphins are really into that.
I thought I saw Lamar do a lot of those plays on Thursday, but
A little bit.
I'm gonna
But
go and
like
get my
there's
score
pre-designed
prediction.
runs, but he's not running it straight up the middle after getting set.
Okay, fair,
Go ahead
fair.
with your score prediction.
24-21 Bills.
Okay, I'm going to go 35-28 Bills.
Okay.
I think this one's just going to be high scoring. Just how these two teams operate. Okay, let's get to Sunday. We'll start with Saints versus Cowboys. I think the Saints are going to get humbled right here. They're going to be coming into this game riding way too high after that big win over the Panthers. This is not the Panthers.
No, it is not. But then again, like the Falcon, or sorry, not the Falcons. Cowboys kind of had an easy week one. I did not expect Cleveland to look that bad.
But okay,
that was horrible.
Was it easy, or did the Cowboys look good, at least on defense? I want to give the defense some shine. I know Cleveland's offense wasn't good, but the Cowboys' defense looked really good.
I think if the Cowboys were playing at their best, that score should have been a lot worse, especially compared to what they did to teams last year.
Yeah.
I mean, they were kind of struggling, but then again, it's only week one. But I am in the same boat with you. I think the Saints are going to get absolutely trashed by Dallas, just because they're riding so high off of that. Granted, a good performance against Carolina, but like you said, this is a whole different bully.
Yeah. The Cowboys are entirely different from what the Saints just saw last week. Like, they're going to get attacked in the air a lot more. The quarterback's going to have a lot more time to throw is the big thing as well. So it's like Marshawn Lattimore is going to have his work cut out for him. Tyrann Mathieu as well. Like, everybody in the secondary is going to have to do a lot more work because Marshawn Lattimore versus CeeDee Lamb is a very much anticipated matchup, but every matchup for CeeDee Lamb tends to go his way. So
yeah.
You can't really count on that. So if you can limit CeeDee, there's a lot less problems to deal with than maybe you would say last year, just because they had Pollard out of the backfield. But like Zeke looks in much better shape than we've seen him in multiple years. So
yeah, he jumped over somebody in that game, or like got close to it, and I was just like, there is no way that 2024 Zeke is doing that.
No, he's in very good shape right now. We'll go ahead and give a score prediction. There's not much else to break down here. I'm gonna go. Sorry, I got to sneeze. Go ahead.
Bless you.
Thank
there
you.
It goes. 28-10 Cowboys.
Okay. I'm gonna go 27-17 Cowboys.
All right.
All right, let's talk Bucks Lions. I think this is a fantastic matchup, especially coming off these two teams' performances last year. Well, also last year they played each other in the playoffs, but last week I really like this matchup. The Buccaneers were rather surprising to me on the offensive side, but it was against a rather weak Washington defense that they still gave up 20 points to as well. The Washington offense they gave up 20 points to. So the Buccaneers defense didn't quite look like what you're maybe wanting to, and I know Levante David got a little banged up in that one. So got to see a lot more improvement from the Bucs week over week because Detroit is better on both sides of the ball compared to the Washington Commanders, which everybody knew. I didn't even have to say that. But the Bucs are still in a position where they could win. Like their ability to spread the ball around last week was a huge thing to me. Like Chris Godwin looked very good receptions and yards wise. He got a touchdown. Mike Evans looked really good. He got a lot of receptions and 2 touchdowns. And you even got Jalen McMillan a touchdown in that game. So they were spreading the ball around really well. Baker was throwing at a high percentage as well, which really caught me by surprise. And the Bucs just looked really good.
I swear you're the biggest Rachaad White hater.
I am.
How are you going to glaze over 6
Yes,
receptions,
I
75
understand that he
yards?
got 75 yards, but he's a fucking running back and he doesn't run the ball.
He got 15 carries. They weren't good,
Yeah,
but he got 15
that's what I'm
carries.
saying. He's
But
literally just as bad as Austin Eckler.
I want to go back to the Buccaneers allowing 20 points to the Commanders because I honestly think that maybe the Commanders are a lot better this year.
I do
They
think so.
definitely look
Their
like it week
offense
one.
is much better. It's just that like it's not conventional. Like Jaden
Yeah,
Daniels was not playing conventional quarterback last week. Like Terry McLaurin got like 3 targets, and his leading receivers were Brian Robinson Jr. and Austin Eckler.
which you're
So
not going to be able to win every NFL
no,
game like
and
that.
he
You got to
ran
throw
for
down the
2
field.
touchdowns himself, and he ran the ball 15 times. Like that's not sustainable for Jaden Daniels. We saw Anthony Richardson try it last year. It didn't work. Jaden Daniels is going to have to figure some things out. We already me and Colin talked about that a lot on Monday. But for the Buccaneers and Lions, I think the Lions they have to look good out the gates. That's where they missed out last week against the Rams on Sunday Night Football. Was they just didn't look good out the gates, and then they had to force themselves to pick it up by the end. Obviously, they end up winning it in overtime and just kind of continue to show off what makes them so good, which is the fact that no matter what happens in a game, they're going to stay competitive all the way through. But they need to come out better off rip because I think the Rams offense and Bucks offense are relatively in the same lane. I think the Rams can run the ball much better. The Bucks just have a much more versatile receiving core and a lot more versatile quarterback just because of Matthew Stafford's age. But I think the Lions could still do a good job defending this Buccaneers team. And then on the offensive side, if the Bucks defense is giving up 20 points to the Commanders, I can't imagine they're not going to give that plus more to the Lions.
Yeah, I think the Lions are going to win this one just off of that ability you mentioned to just stay competitive in games, and I don't think the Buccaneers necessarily have that, but we talked about in the offseason, you and I both agreed that we thought that this Lions secondary was going to be a hell of a lot better, but they got shat on against the Rams.
Yeah.
And if they think that they're out of it, they're not, because the Buccaneers kind of have, like you said, a similar, definitely passing offense where they just got guys that sling it, and they have a lot of talent going down the field for them. And I think the Lions are going to have their work cut out for them. But like I said, I think they still come out on top, but I can see it being very similar to their game against the Rams for sure.
Yeah, like my thing for the Lions is that this revamped secondary is huge. Like that secondary looked really good against the Rams. Yes, they did still give up a decent amount of points, but I think the way that secondary has been rebuilt and the fact that the Buccaneers are coming off of playing one of the worst secondaries in football, in my opinion, that it can only go a little bit better for the Lions this time around. So I'm going to take the Lions, and I'm going to go 31-21 Lions.
I'm going to take the Lions 24-17.
Okay. Yeah, I don't know why, but I feel like this one's going to be a high scorer. Not sure. I have no reason to back it up. I'll just say that right now. Okay, next game, Colts-Packers. Very excited to see the Colts go out there again. Because the way that they looked against the Texans, man, it's exciting. Yes, Anthony Richardson completed 9 passes. I understand. Tell me you weren't excited wire to wire watching that game. Like, both teams are coming off of week ones with super close losses to top teams in the league heading into the season. Obviously, for the Packers, Jordan Love isn't confirmed out. He's doubtful right now. He's out. Like, he's not playing.
There's no way.
Yeah, he still hasn't even practiced this week.
Way.
There's 0% chance we see him this weekend. Now, that probably means we'll see Malik Willis, which definitely changes the outcome of this one because it means the Colts are going to win. That's what Malik Willis means for the Packers, is that the Colts are winning this game. DeForest Buckner didn't practice today. I don't know what his status has been all week, but right now he's questionable to play on Sunday. So that is a big factor because that helps the Packers out a lot if they're going to be missing DeForest Buckner, who looked fantastic against the Texans.
Yeah. I don't really know what to think about this game. I feel like I've been agreeing with you a lot on this episode, but the Colts looked so they were so much fun to watch. I
Yeah.
mean, you got Anthony Richardson slipping and then throwing the ball 120 yards in the air for a touchdown. Like it is insane. This is exactly what I wanted to see from the
Yeah.
Colts this year is Anthony Richardson come out and just be a demon.
Yeah.
Which that's exactly what he did.
And I talked about this on Monday. I love the fact that he was rather reserved in the running game. He still ran very well, ran for more yards than Jonathan Taylor did. But I really like the fact that he wasn't running at will. He was going through his progressions, and then if the opportunity was there, he was running the ball. Unlike last year,
Yeah.
where it was like it seemed like they tried to get a lot of predetermined runs in there, or he would go through like one progression, be like, "Nope, my guys, Michael Pittman Jr. is locked up. I got to run," and that's what causes guys to get hurt because they're not really looking at the whole field when that happens.
Yeah.
So I think Anthony
Um,
Richardson's already grown in that facet of his game.
And for me on the Packers side, you're gonna lose because Malik Willis is your starter. But the
Yes.
ways that you could win, first of all, you have to get Josh Jacobs involved much earlier in the game than what you did against the Eagles because
Agreed.
he started heating up late, and at that point it was just too late. And then take a book out of the or take a play out of the Texans playbook. Do not let Anthony Richardson complete deep balls like that.
No.
Like
No,
that
it's
is
got to be a no-fly zone back there. And Xavier McKinney looked really good last week.
yeah.
So I think he would be a big part of how that's going to go this week. I think another thing you could take out of the Texans playbook is run the damn ball. Run the ball on the
Yeah.
Colts. Especially
Yeah.
Josh Jacobs. Like we saw Joe Mixon have like a career day almost out there in week 1.
Yeah.
So run the ball with Josh Jacobs early.
Yes, and I think that's kind of a big reason why the Colts don't really have like many offensive stats is because they were never on the field.
Yeah.
It
Yeah.
was the Joe Mixon show.
No, like Anthony Richardson, I think he attempted. I think he was like 9 for 19 or something. I don't have the stats right in front of me, but I think he was like 9 for 19, and then I think they only ran the ball like 25 times.
Yeah, 9 for 19 for Richardson. They ran the ball 22 times.
22 times. They were
Yeah.
not on offense at all.
Yeah, and on top of that, Jonathan Taylor was getting stuffed.
Yeah, he looked bad.
The entire game.
That was weird.
Yeah, definitely weird. But
Came
I'm
off
gonna go ahead
weird.
and give a score prediction here. I think I missed that.
Oh, you're just
Missed
now
that, 'cause
getting why I
was-
said that's weird.
Yeah.
Okay.
Why can't he get stuffed? That is a
Uh,
football term.
Yeah, it sure is. It's time for something else too.
I know. Thanksgiving rather. Let's see. Packers 10, Colts 31.
It might happen on Thanksgiving. I'm gonna go Colts. Colts 17, Packers 3.
Whoa.
I hate Malik Willis with every fiber of my being. I do. I thought he was going to replace Ryan Tannehill in Tennessee.
Yeah.
I thought that's what was coming. Didn't happen. I was like,
dude,
I convinced myself that the Falcons should have taken him in the first round instead of
I
taking
remember-
fucking Drake London.
when we drafted Kenny Pickett, I was like, oh, I don't know.
Yeah.
That other guy out of
Dude.
Liberty.
Malik
had us all
Willis had
fooled.
guys sold. It's crazy. Okay, next game, Jets Titans. I think with this one, it's kind of similar to where like we wanted to see these teams go again to the last matchup. I want to see these teams go again only because they didn't play up to expectations.
Yes.
Like the Jets certainly were expected to be a lot closer than I think they lost by 13 by the end of it, but it was more of a blowout than it looked like because they got that late touchdown.
Yeah.
But I think with the Jets, it's just like, yeah, you got dominated, but you were projected to lose. And there is a lot to figure out. Aaron Rodgers is brand new to this offense, essentially. I know he's been there for a year, but he's brand new with this offense on the field. And he looked good at times, but you can tell he's rather immobile in the pocket. Like, it's the least he's moved around in the pocket in a game. And I think his entire career is what I was seeing. And like,
What?
go ahead.
Go ahead. Sorry.
Oh, okay. So like when he was dropping back in the pocket, like he wasn't dropping back as far. He wasn't planting that back foot to throw forward. It still seems like he's a little bit reserved on that ankle.
Yeah. You know what's the good point of Aaron Rodgers though is he's getting much older, and we didn't even get to see him last year. just watching him still have that zing
Yeah.
on the ball was amazing. And I kind of wanted to pose this question to you because after I got done watching the highlights of this game, because I had to do homework the entire time this game was on,
Mm.
um, I cannot decide if the Jets' offensive woes was because of Aaron Rodgers or
No,
not.
I don't think it was.
It didn't really look like it was his fault to me.
No, I think it just didn't. It didn't look like an Aaron Rodgers offense that we're used to, only because his mobility is so different.
Yeah,
But like Breece Hall
yeah,
still looked pretty good. Like, he was actually really good, I'd say. And Garrett Wilson looked really good. I just don't know if like the other contributors in this offense were really doing as much as we wanted them to.
yeah. I mean, that's a good
Like
point.
Lazard had a really bad drop pass for a first down early in the game. There was like a number of just like small things that happened that just slowed them down or killed the momentum. And of course, on the other side, you come into this game on defense thinking, oh, we're going to be able to stop the 49ers. They don't have Christian McCaffrey. And then Jordan Mason just does exactly whatever McCaffrey was going to do that
Yeah.
day.
And I'm gonna go ahead and make a hot take too. I know it's the 49ers, and the 49ers are probably the second, if not the best team in the NFL. I think we all ought to pump the brakes on just sucking the dick of this Jets defense.
There's things
I
that
mean
they're
that.
very there's a lot of things they're really good at, and there's a lot of things that are so bad.
To me right now, it's 11 names that some of them are Pro Bowl names. That's all this defense is to me.
Yeah. Well, it's like, look, Sauce Gardner's great, but not against the top wide receivers in the league. And,
Yeah.
Quincy Williams is great at linebacker, but not when an offense is like tiring him out at all times. Like Brock
With the
Purdy.
second string running back.
Yeah, Brock Purdy was spreading the ball around. They're running the ball a lot. Like, you can't do anything as a linebacker when that's the case.
Yeah.
So, yeah, and I think the defensive line was good, but they certainly couldn't get pressure. The 49ers just have too good of an offensive line. And that was something that we didn't think they were good at last year. I thought their offensive line was rather worse than the year prior last year. Now they come into this year, they didn't make a ton of changes there. Trent Williams missed the entire preseason, and they still looked good, and they still shit on that Jets defensive line. So I'm not excited for the Jets defensive line in this game or their defense at all, but that makes me excited for the Titans. The Titans, really, they looked fine in that first half, but the wheels fell off in the second half. And like Will Levis clearly is not acclimated to this offense just yet. It's so much different. I've already said that a couple of times over the last 2 weeks. This offense is so different for him. And like last year, it was give the ball to Derek or throw it 40 yards downfield to DeAndre Hopkins. He's got way more options. He's got a running back that almost seemed like he was preferring to get the passes out of the backfield in Tony Pollard. He looked really good when he got the passes out of the backfield. And Brian Callahan comes from a Bengals team where he was running an offense that was primarily about short passes. So it's a huge change for Will Levis. I just don't think he's exactly there yet with it. It's going to take time.
That's a good point. I think what we need from Will Levis is just a little bit more consistency with those short passing completions. Because you can move the ball down the field that way, especially when Tony Pollard's your running back to help you out in those second and shorts after you're throwing the ball short on first down. But eliminating the turnovers would have made a world difference against the Bears last week. And
especially
and
the late one.
The Bears
that pick six was brutal, or fumble recovery, or whatever they called it. It was brutal.
That was brutal. Yeah. But yeah, as soon as you limit those interceptions, you held an offense with a lot of dogs on it to no touchdowns.
Yeah.
So very bizarre game from the Titans. I still think there's a lot of positives to take away. I'm going to go ahead and give a score prediction for the Tennessee Titans against the Jets. Oh Lord, I don't know. This one's a little bit tough. I'm going to go 28-17 Jets.
Okay. I don't know if it's going to be that high scoring. I do think the Jets are going to win it. I'm going to go 24-14 14 Jets. I've had like 3 or 4 games with a 10-point difference. I don't know why that's the preferred thing today, but I guess that's just how I'm feeling. Every single time, for anybody out there that has maybe never listened to the podcast, I know we had quite a few new listeners on on Monday's episode. If you've never listened to this podcast, you never listened to an NFL preview of ours, I don't write down my score predictions, and I don't think Luke does either. It's all off vibes.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
just keep that in mind when we make these score predictions. Okay, next game, 49ers, Vikings. I think this one might be ugly.
Really?
Yeah, I look, I like the Vikings. I liked what I saw
too.
last week, but you got to keep in mind it was against the Giants.
Yeah.
Don't forget that part.
Very good point.
Because, yeah, Sam Darnold looked solid, but, like, none of the receivers were excellent, I would say. Like, he didn't just, like, light it up. He just looked really good, and he played off of Aaron Jones' momentum the entire game. Aaron Jones looked awesome.
Yeah.
But the 49ers
there
can
was
stop
one
that.
point, for sure. There was one point in the game last week against the Giants for the Vikings that Sam Darnold had like 12 completions in a row and like 130 yards or something like that. Like, that's wild.
Yeah, no,
Wild
like
to
he's
me.
done like a lot of stuff really good. It's just like, and this is just to go over everything. Tua was the only quarterback last week that surpassed 300 yards. Like,
Yeah.
everybody was passing for low yardage, and like not a lot of people passed 250. So
No.
for Sam Darnold to come out and be amongst the guys that were kind of breaking into that area was a good sign, because passing yards are just down in general, and touchdowns. Passing touchdowns are down in general in the NFL.
Yeah.
And I couldn't tell you why exactly, but I think it kind of stems from the fact that we were spoiled by a generation of fantastic quarterbacks.
Oh, for sure.
Like,
I miss it every day.
the top, 8 quarterbacks in the league for like 10 years were all like top 30 quarterbacks all time.
Yeah.
Maybe higher. And now we're kind of into the next age, and there's a lot more guys that aren't throwing for a ton of yards, but you still have Lamar Jacksons and even Jaden Daniels now.
Yeah.
And, you know, amongst the likes of so many other running quarterbacks or just quarterbacks with the ability to scramble. Bro, nobody except Fran Tarkenton was running the ball at quarterback.
Yeah.
And Michael Vick, of course, later to come on. But, like, those were the only dudes running like this. Now, like, you're seeing quarterbacks get like 12 carries in a game, and it's regular.
Yeah.
So I think that's a big part of it. But Sam Darnold still had a great week. 49ers, they are just as consistent as consistency gets. Like, how the fuck did Jordan Mason fill in last week and just step in stride for stride with Christian McCaffrey?
Yeah, and get almost 30 carries.
Yeah. Like, it was just working. Because the Jets, as soon as the Jets found out that Christian McCaffrey wasn't playing, they were like, oh, dude, we've got it. All we got to do is stop them from passing the ball. And then Jordan Mason just comes out of fucking nowhere. It was unbelievable. And, of course, they can still pass the ball all around the field. Like, Brock Purdy is still just so consistent. And Deebo Samuel does his thing. Ayuk he definitely missed a step with holding out all summer. Ayuk was kind of...
Peyton Manning said it the best.
What?
Brandon Ayuk dropped like a diving touchdown.
Yeah.
What could have been a diving touchdown reception. And Peyton Manning was like, if you get your contract done earlier and you're in training camp, you don't drop those.
Exactly.
So a little bit of shade from the sheriff, but yeah, I'm definitely thinking that the Vikings, kind of like the Saints, get absolutely humbled
for sure.
Week 2. I'm gonna go 31-13 Niners.
Okay, I like that. I like that a lot.
I want Sam Darnold to prove himself so bad, but it's just not gonna happen.
Okay, I'm gonna go 49ers 27, Vikings 6.
Okay.
Yeah. And look, Aaron Jones is still going to start for me in fantasy. I don't think he's going to get into the end zone. Okay. Seahawks, Patriots. This matchup fucking blows. I hate this going. I hate it so much. Literally, my only note for this game is just boo with like 8-0 or 8 O's. That's it.
And he really took the time.
Yeah. No, this is Kenneth Walker versus Ramondre Stevenson.
Yeah, if that.
Yeah, it's literally just those two going up against each other to see who can chew more clock, who can get this game over in 2 hours. That's what we're playing
Yeah.
for here. No timeouts, no passes, just run the ball.
I'm still trying to figure out how the Broncos are going to win a game with Bo Nix at quarterback this year.
Luckily, we don't have to talk about that for a few more matchups. Thank God. We can delay that conversation for like 10 minutes, but I don't know how they didn't just win it last week. The Seahawks looked shit. Outside of Kenneth Walker, they couldn't get anything going.
Yeah.
Geno Smith's bad. No, I was right. I've been right all summer. Geno Smith's not good.
Oh, Lord, no.
Try me.
Kenneth, probably the best game we've seen from Kenneth Walker in like 6 or 7 years, it feels like. Tyler Lockett,
was like
6 receptions, 77 yards.
Yeah, Tyler Lockett had a good day.
You're right. This game absolutely sucks. And you know what? After their win against the Bengals, I might be feeling Patriots in this one. I might just be feeling the Patriots.
I don't know where I'm at on the Bengals. We'll talk about them later as well.
No idea.
I don't know what to think.
Well, you only ran the ball 16 times when you were having success. Zach Moss, 9 carries for 44 yards.
Yeah, trust me. I started Chase Brown in fantasy.
Yeah, even Joe Burrow, only 8 incompletions?
Yeah.
Where did you lose?
It's a brand new offense. I will give them that. Brand new offense, new OC.
Yeah.
But it's like something's got to give with that one. So in Kenneth Walker versus Ramondre Stevenson, I am going to go Seahawks 10, Patriots 7.
All right. One last thing about this game. Grayson, our boy Keon White, 2.5 sacks.
Fuck yeah.
On Joe Burrow. That's what I like to see.
I think we talked about that on Monday, but yes, I'm happy to see.
Oh, okay, nice.
Happy to see.
I'm going to take the Patriots 19, Seahawks 13.
Okay. Yeah, I think for me, it's just like I could see the Seahawks just like breaking it open in the passing game a few times, where I don't see the Patriots doing that.
I think we should take a moment and now ask ourselves, when was the last time we thought the Patriots were going to win a game? Or when is the last time any of us said that the Patriots are going to win a game?
Oh, man. It might have been a late season game last year. When's the last time they played the Jets? I probably said the Patriots.
Yeah, probably late last season.
Yeah, because they always beat the Jets.
That is true.
All right. Giants versus Commanders. I don't know where I'm at on this one. Jaden Daniels versus Malik Neighbors is maybe the best part of this game. Teammates going head to head, or former teammates. Yeah. If Danny can figure something out, this will be fun to watch. I'll say that.
Yeah, I feel like that's a fair assumption. But he won't.
Yeah, and also if I was a Commanders fan, I would be so worried watching Jaden Daniels on the field at all times. I would feel like
Anthony Richardson.
It feels like Robert Griffin III is going to happen again.
Oh man,
that's what scares me. It's like it's all just lining right up, and I hate it. I hate it because I love Jaden Daniels. I'm starting him in fantasy this week. I don't care. I'm starting Malik Neighbors too. I'm starting both of them.
This is a big game for you, Grayson.
Dude, yeah, it is. That's why I need Danny to figure something out. Because, like, last week, it was cool. It's like, okay, sure. Malik Neighbors' first game in the NFL. He had, like, a decent day. Not a bad day. I think he had, like, 5 receptions, 59 yards. I'm not mad about that. But we need to get him in the end zone, Danny. And you guys need to get in the end zone.
Yeah.
Just for y'all.
Big time.
And I'll tell you this. Handing the ball off to Devin Singletary is not going to get you there.
No.
Yeah, hate to break it. But I think for me, the Commanders, Jaden Daniels, just pump the brakes a little bit on running the ball every time. Maybe throw to Terry McLaurin a few times. Make Colin happy at least. and just take it slow. That's all I'm saying for Jaden Daniels. Just slow it down a little bit. I appreciate it. Fantasy wise.
Yeah, I mean,
but slow down.
like for your rookie game to, you have 7 incompletions for almost 200 yards, no interceptions, no touchdowns, and then you rush for 88 yards on 16 carries.
Yep.
That is an amazing
And 2
rookie game.
touchdowns
But you're
on the
exactly
ground.
right. When you have Brian Robinson Jr. and Austin Eckler, what is your rookie quarterback doing running the ball 16 times?
I don't know.
I don't care how
But he
good
also
it looks.
he threw
I
it
don't
to
care
them
that he
all
got
the
2
time.
touchdowns. That's very true, but you're exactly right. I loved the game that Jaden Daniels had, and I wish that I could safely say that he could have more of them, but I can't.
No.
And you have Brian Robinson Jr. and Austin Eckler, so just run the ball and, let them pass. Only 7 incompletions. That's not bad at all.
No.
And like you said, Terry McLaurin, only 2 receptions, 17 yards. Get him involved more.
Definitely.
And they're going to walk through the Giants. I'm going to go ahead and give a score prediction. I think it's going to be Commanders 21, Giants 6.
Oh, another week without a touchdown for the Giants.
Another 6-pointer for the Giants. Yep.
I'm going to go Commanders 17, Giants 7. Another 10-point deficit. Jesus. I'm just like, every single time I say it, I realize it. I'm like, oh my God, how do I even do this? This has potential to be the worst matchup of the week. Chargers-Panthers. I can only assume the Chargers just clear the Panthers here.
Yeah.
They weren't horrendous last week. Like, the Chargers weren't so bad. The best thing that the Chargers have going for them is the offensive line. The offensive line looks fucking awesome.
Joe Alt he just canceled Max Crosby.
Yeah.
I've never seen that before.
Yeah. Joe Alt just said, fuck you. And like the fact that fact that they're going up against a Panthers team that doesn't even have Brian Burns anymore, there's nothing to be worried about up front except Derek Brown. And if you just send your center and one of your guards at him, you're fine.
Yeah. They'll have to start double teaming Joe Alt.
Yeah. No, defenses are going to have to line up 2 guys on Joe Alt because he's going to stop both of them. They might have to do 3.
Exactly.
They might have to drop a linebacker down just so that they can get past Joe Alt.
And he's going to play until he's like 41 years old.
Yeah, no, I could see him just like picking up 2 people like this. Like like a grown man picking up like 2 small children.
Yeah.
Obviously his kids. That person's kids are the children he's picking up. Bryce Young, I'm praying for you, man. I really am, dude. I am, and I'm not a religious guy whatsoever. But I'm like, I'm gonna go to bed tonight and like kneel down and like put my hands on my bed and like pray for Bryce Young. He's the worst draw ever. And it wasn't even, he could have been on the Bears right now. He could have been on the Bears right now.
I just don't know if I even believe if he would do that very well.
Yeah, that's true.
Deontay Johnson did exactly what I expected him to do.
Nothing?
Sorry, Panthers. Very sorry, Panthers.
Yeah.
Jonathan Mingo and Xavier Legette, I think, are your 2 guys here. And Adam Thielen on the side.
Yeah.
For sure. I'm not saying totally give up on Deontay Johnson. I just I really don't know what to think about him.
What a bad trade.
Yeah, our guy got a pick.
Yeah.
Their guy got 2 receptions.
Yeah. Yeah, don't even get me started on Kirk Cousins' interceptions, dude.
Yeah, and on the Chargers side, I completely agree with you that the Chargers do not look good. But to me, the improvement of their offensive line is honestly like 10 out of 10.
Yeah.
That almost to me cancels out almost all of the shortcomings that, they had on offense against the Raiders, because this is a team that last year, if they had the team that they had last year with that offensive line, wild.
Yeah, and J.K. Dobbins looked good too.
Yeah, 10 carries, 135 yards.
Yeah, now I think like most of that came from like one run.
It was a 61-yard.
Yeah, so a lot of half of his yards came from one run. But he looked really good considering he never stays on the field. So, Chargers fans, don't get used to it. I would love
Yeah.
to see J.K. Dobbins healthy for a year. I personally can't even tell myself that that'll happen without laughing.
We've
Um,
never seen it.
no, but I do think the milkman, Lad McConkey. um, he looked pretty good. He seems like the best weapon on this offense somehow in the receiving game. Like Quentin Johnston didn't look too bad. Josh Palmer was the best thing Josh Palmer did was get ejected.
Yeah.
That's,
Wait, how did he get ejected?
him and what was his Jack Johnson, the like corner for the Raiders. I can't remember the guy's name. I think it's Jack Johnson or Jack Jones, something like that. They just fought in the end zone.
Oh,
Pretty much.
I don't know why I didn't see that.
It did get kind of looked over, I would say. There was too many things going on.
Yeah.
Let's see. Score prediction. Chargers 21. Panthers 3. What are you eating?
Yeah, I got some goldfish.
Nice. Yeah, I looked up
Yeah.
and I was like, what is he chewing?
You see, it's Bryce Young running away from Khalil Mack and Joey Bosa
Yeah.
and Derwin James.
Yeah.
Yeah, the Chargers have a lot more defensive weapons than the Saints do. I think, like in terms of just single guys.
Yeah.
Panthers 3, Chargers 31.
Nice. Yeah.
Yeah.
I need to make sure my waiver already went through, but I'm pretty sure I claimed the Chargers defense. Last week I drafted the Saints defense because I knew they were playing the Panthers week 1. And then just dropped them and picked up nope. Oh, maybe my claim didn't go through. Maybe I didn't even put in the claim. I might not have put the claim in. I'm gonna be hand up. Yeah. Let's see. No, I think somebody beat me to it. I only put in 10, so that's why. Okay, well, I'm gonna be making a defensive move at some point today.
Got the last 1:00 game.
Yeah.
Right? Is the last one?
No,
Second to
two
last
more because there's so many of them.
Yeah.
Browns, Jags. Interested to see the potential bounce back for Cleveland here. Is Deshaun Watson
there is one.
washed? Maybe. Does he need to be washed off the face of the earth because he's just a vile human being? Definitely. More allegations came out. More charges have been pressed. I guess that's the right way to say it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Deshaun Watson, scum of the earth. And I don't think they're a good offense in general with him there.
I can't believe that I have Amari Cooper in 2 of my leagues. I
that's
just
tough.
can't believe it.
You were just praying he got traded to the 49ers.
Yeah. Yeah, as a Steelers fan, I am so happy of Cleveland's shortcomings. However, I almost I kind of expected more.
Oh yeah, me too.
Even against the Cowboys, I expected more. Of course, Cleveland has a much better opportunity against the Jags, but in my opinion, I literally saw nothing to go off of to even defend this Cleveland offense a bit.
Not at all.
I just can't.
No, and like the thing is like people are trying to give them credit for last season. Deshaun Watson barely played, and when he did, they sucked.
Yeah.
Like, that's not why they were a good team last year. They were a good team last year because Joe Flacco won 5 fucking games.
Yeah.
And that's why Kevin Stefanski won Coach of the Year. That guy's a 2-time Coach of the Year. And it's because of Baker Mayfield and Joe Flacco.
Wow.
I'm not saying Kevin Stefanski's not a good coach. I'm just saying what we saw last year from the Browns and what we're seeing this year is not at all the same. Like, yes, Nick Chubb is still out, just like he was for almost the entire season last year. But this offense is much worse for some reason because Deshaun Watson's the quarterback, and that shouldn't be the case, but it is. He's getting to the point where he was trending towards worse football player than human. And then it just kind of jumped
says
right
a
back
lot.
ahead.
What I thought was crazy was, did you see the clip of one of the Browns offensive linemen like had his hand up and Deshaun Watson walked over to help him up and he just slapped his hand away?
Yeah.
I mean, it is not looking good.
Yeah,
This is
no.
week 1,
Yeah, and
ladies and
then on the
gentlemen.
Jags side, it just seems like they have some getting used to kind of get through. Like, I don't love that Tank Bigsby and Travis Etienne are getting the same amount of snaps, except Bigsby looked better, but Etienne got all the red zone snaps. That just doesn't make sense to me. If Bigsby looks better, put him in the game.
Yeah.
But like both of them got 12 carries, so that's it's not too bad for Tank Bigsby. And then passing wise, I just like Gabe Davis looked bad in my opinion.
How about Brian Robinson? Or sorry, Brian Thomas.
Yeah, Brian
Love
Thomas
that
got
game.
the touchdown. He looked pretty good.
Yeah.
Trevor looked like average Trevor in my opinion. The Trevor that doesn't deserve the money he got paid is what he looked like in week 1. And the defense was just it was fine. It was pretty impressive that they stopped the Dolphins like that. But the Browns are, nothing in comparison to the Dolphins. So I can assume the Jags defense will look good again.
Yeah. That's kind of what I'm thinking. I'm going to go ahead and give a score prediction. 23-14 Jags.
Okay. I'm going to go 20-13 Jags. All right.
All right.
Raiders, Ravens, the final game of the 1 o'clock slate. Yes, the 10th game of the 1 o'clock slate. We'll talk about that in a second. This might be so bad. Like, the Ravens are coming into this with some pent-up anger, and they are about to take it out on the Raiders.
Dude, did you see all their press conferences from that Chiefs game? They were all like...
Oh, Isaiah Likely's about to get 300 receiving yards this week.
Yeah.
And he's going to toe tap every single fucking catch.
Dude, I am totally fine with my Coastal Carolina man taking over tight end.
Mark Andrews is a great blocker, so I don't mind it at all.
Yeah. The Raiders' only chance in this game, for one, do not turn the ball over. Yeah. 2, get Zamir White involved. And 3, Max Crosby has to actually get in the backfield, or they won't win.
Yeah.
So
in the Ravens offensive line did look pretty good after like the first 2 quarters, like into the second half, they looked pretty good against the Chiefs.
Yeah, and I loved what Lamar was able to do. Like, I know a lot of my friends I was texting about after the game, and of course, big Ravens hater, but Lamar's on my fantasy team. Maybe not some of the best throws we saw from Lamar. I think he had one that
stretch.
Yes, but the ability to extend plays is the whole reason why that Thursday night game was only, won by a touchdown. Was because he just not only extended plays to get throws off, but he also, had 16 carries for 122 yards.
And then Derrick Henry honestly, on top of it in the running game. Unbelievable.
Yeah. I think if this Ravens defense can take advantage of a kind of a crappy Oakland offense, maybe get some turnovers and then honestly do the same thing offensively, except Lamar just be more consistent, Baltimore's going to blow them out.
Yeah, no, give me a Kyle Hamilton defensive touchdown.
Okay.
I'm calling that one right now.
Am I your bookie?
Yeah. Yeah, I'm betting goldfish on it, so you better stop eating. Yeah, I'm gonna go Ravens 31, Raiders 6.
I'm gonna go Ravens 28, Raiders 13.
Okay, I think this is just a huge blowout spot for the Ravens. Okay, now to the 4 o'clock games, all 3 of them. It's unbelievable. Okay, why do we still have this problem? This should never fucking happen. Why? There is 10 games at 1 o'clock. There is 3 games at 4 o'clock. And then we just have regular Sunday, regular Monday. Yeah. What are we doing? Why? I don't want... Okay, I love football. And look, if there was 100 games on at 1 o'clock, I'd be excited. But at least give me 50 of them at 4 o'clock. Like, I can't do 10 games at 1 o'clock and then just I'm so excited because I've been keeping up with all 10 of these games, and then they end, and then I just do what? I just watch 3 games? Like, come on. Please. Please just move one of those games. I need to at least fill the multi-view. That's all I'm asking for. I just want to fill the multi-view.
You don't want one big game at the bottom and then 2
No,
split up
I
at
have
the top or
another
something?
TV
No?
for that. If I wanted to, I could have
Oh,
another TV up for that. But
alright,
I
well,
can't do this. I can't do this any longer. Okay, Rams Cardinals. Now, I
ooh.
I think the Rams are good, but I don't
Yeah.
know. I look, they looked really good against the Lions. But I really don't know if they're that good.
Yeah.
I don't see consistency coming out of that performance against the Lions. Obviously it's only one
Yeah.
game. But
I
you
mean, we'll
can't do
see.
that all the time. That's for sure.
I kind of feel like if that was the case, it would be kind of the Rams' offensive last year. You know, like they would
Yeah.
have games where Stafford would go like 330, you know, and threw the ball like 47 times, but then they'd have games where they kind of just suck.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
And the
I don't
Cardinals
know, but
offense is much better than it was last year.
yeah,
So they could definitely put up points. The Rams defense is arguably worse than it was last year outside of the secondary probably. Um and I don't see why the Cardinals can't stay in this game all the way to the end.
yeah, that's a fair point. Sorry, I'm chewing. These goldfish are busting right
I'm
now.
glad you're enjoying them. I'll continue talking about the Cardinals though, because I think the defense is good enough in places to at least like slow down the Rams a couple of times. Like the Rams aren't just gonna like put up 45.
I bet Kyron has a better game though
Probably.
against Arizona than
Yeah.
he did against Detroit.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah. Cardinals aren't very strong up front on the defense.
yeah, I think the Rams can put up more than 20 points,
Yeah.
which is, you know, what they scored against the Lions, but I think that the Cardinals could probably have a similar offensive game against the Rams. I think this one's going to be extremely close.
Yeah.
I really do.
I'm gonna just go ahead and give a score prediction because I don't have much else to say about it. Um, I'm gonna go Cardinals 28, Rams 24.
I like that taking it Arizona there. I'm going to
Yeah.
go 27-24 Arizona.
Okay. We're both
Yeah.
going for the upset. Okay, I got to see what the line is now because we might just be out of our minds.
Oh yeah, you haven't been mentioning the line this whole time.
Yeah, I know. I didn't put it in my notes only because I didn't make these notes till today. Um, let's see. Cardinals. The Cardinals are a 1-point favorite.
Not the underdog.
No, that's kind of
Wow.
crazy. Okay. Wow. Very interesting. Any other
First time since when?
any other lines that you wanted to know? I know because I kind of
Um,
skipped over all of them. Any other games we already
let me
covered?
look through 'em. Let's do Jets Titans.
Jets
What's the line on
Titans.
that one?
Jets are 3.5-point favorite on the road.
Wow.
The very interesting one here as well. Colts a 2.5-point favorite in Lambeau,
Wow.
but it's also the quarterback.
Malik Willis.
Yeah, yeah.
What's Tampa Detroit?
Let's see. Detroit 7.5-point favorites at home.
What?
That's crazy.
Too high. Too high.
Yeah, in the over under 51.5. So that's going to be a relatively high scoring game. It looks like we were kind of spot on with Seahawks Patriots, or at least I was. They have the Seahawks 3.5-point favorite, total 38.5 points. Same with Chargers Panthers. They've got 38.5 is the total for that one. But back to what we were talking about. We already did. Wait, did we just? Yeah, we just did our predictions for Cardinals Rams. So now it's Steelers Broncos. Luke, how are we feeling? How are we feeling about the Steelers?
I feel great. You know, the Steelers, it's such a weird game against Atlanta because
Definitely.
I understand that we didn't even get into the end zone, but that offense was so entertaining and one of the best week 1 run games that we've had in a couple years, I would say. Najee looked phenomenal.
Yeah.
George Pickens just kind of looks like same old him. I'm very excited for Justin Fields to start. And then on the Broncos side, Bo Nix looked horrible. They don't really have a running back. They don't have any really standout wide receivers. So
Yeah.
I imagine our defense is going to eat them up. And I think that we get into the end zone a couple times this week.
Okay. See, my thing is like, yeah, you guys are going to win this game, but it's easier to kick field goals in Denver, so you don't even have to get as far down the field. You just
That's
start
very
kicking.
true.
So, especially if Chris Boswell wants to kick like 6 50-yard field goals, it's going to be really easy on the legs this week.
It is. You're exactly right.
Yeah, and Bo Nix is bad. Not okay. I'm not gonna just like shit on him because like I'd say he was probably better than Caleb Williams, but his team didn't win. But it just wasn't what it was, written up to be.
Yeah.
From Bo.
Going back to the Steelers, do never ever let Cordero Patterson have more rushes than Jalen Warren ever again.
Agreed.
The couple times I saw Cordero Patterson against the Falcons, I was like, oh, okay, it's Cordero, that's cool. But Jalen Warren getting less than him, never. I
need to give you a quick reminder, real quick.
Okay.
Arthur Smith is your offensive coordinator.
That is a very good point.
And I don't know if you've noticed this because it's a lot of players that nobody even thought about as Falcons. You guys picked up every single player that he signed that didn't work out for the Falcons. Like literally everybody that was not good for the Falcons, you guys got.
Yeah. I mean,
and
you're
it makes
exactly
up
right.
the offense, essentially.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
It's
like
pretty scary.
Me and Colin were watching that game. We were just like, oh, he was on the Falcons last year. Oh, so was he. Oh, you guys have Michael Pruitt? That's weird. Like, just so many weird fucking players that you guys picked up that weren't good.
Yeah, I know. Like all of our big name pickups were on defense, and all of them looked amazing. Actually, like I thought Patrick Queen, Deshaun Elliott, Deontay Jackson, like both of our picks were 2 new guys.
Yeah, I'm gonna be honest. Arthur Smith,
awesome.
Arthur Smith could call plays for an offense that doesn't score any touchdowns in a whole season. I swear, he's just so capable of that.
Yeah,
that's so in the cards for Arthur Smith. I still think you guys are gonna win this game though, and you probably will score a touchdown or 2. I'm gonna also Broncos defense did not look good enough. Pat Surtain didn't look good enough. Like he was fine, but nothing quite looked right last week for Denver.
Yeah, nothing crazy for Denver.
I'm gonna go Steelers 20, Broncos 7.
Okay, I'm gonna go Steelers 21, Broncos 10.
Okay. Our last of the 4:00 slate: Bengals versus Chiefs. This one they're getting wiped. Like the Bengals are getting wiped for sure. I'm still hoping that the Bengals figure something out on the offense. I just don't know if this is the team to figure things out against. if that makes any sense. Like this is not the team to go up against right now when you're trying to figure things out, especially when you're the Bengals because they hate each other. I don't know what the fuck's going on with Burrow. The hand still doesn't work. Like his wrist is still fucked.
Yeah.
Very obvious. I don't know if you saw the video of him trying to pick up the water bottle.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's wild.
It's not working. Like his hand isn't working.
No.
It's really hard to throw a football when that's the case.
It's such a shame because he has just such a pretty face.
Okay. Why is that?
And speaking of pretty faces, the penetration, I'll say it one more time, the penetration of the Chiefs defense against the Ravens was, I did not expect that.
No.
And Joe Burrow is going to get tore the fuck up this game.
Yeah.
Seriously, I don't like to predict injuries, on players, but like Burrow genuinely needs to be careful.
Oh,
because he does not have the escapability of Lamar Jackson.
No, they've got to run the ball. That was the only
Yes.
thing that the Ravens did very well, was running the ball. So just let your guys eat.
Yeah. Let him
Um,
eat. Zach Moss is a professional eater. Professional yards eater.
yeah, that's true. He's a professional getting like 10 carries for like 50 yards.
Yeah.
And Chase Brown's not a bad running back at all. You just need to use him.
You hear that, Bengals?
Yeah.
no, no bias from Grayson at all.
No, not because he's on my fantasy team. But like last year, we saw a good flash from Chase Brown. So I'm saying that earnestly is like the fact that like he is a usable running back. He's not just like some guy you throw off to the side, or you would have gone out
Yeah,
and signed a better running back than Zach Moss. Um,
definitely.
the Chiefs are just a super team now. Xavier Worthy like totally remakes this team, and Hollywood Brown still isn't even back yet.
No, no.
He's just withering
And
away on
Rashi
my
Rice
bench.
is still waiting to get suspended.
Oh, well, we won't
I
have a suspension until like next season. His court date's
You
not
don't
till
think so?
December.
Oh, wow.
Yeah,
Damn, so he has this full season to just to shit on people.
yeah, and then next season he'll
Because
spend it in jail.
yeah. You know what Xavier Worthy reminds me of, or you know who?
Who?
It reminds me of like fresh meat Tyreek Hill. Like when Tyreek Hill
Mm.
was a rookie and was like
And
playing
they
like
just
running
used him-
back
yeah, they
on
just
some
used him
plays.
for everything.
Yeah. But it kind of, I said the same thing about Tyreek Hill back then, and I'm still going to say it about Xavier Worthy. I wonder, he only got 3 touches in this game, although he was very, very effective.
Yeah.
I wonder how big of a part of this offense he's actually going to be.
I think
Because I could definitely see
he'll be
games where he may
important.
not even see the ball.
He'll be important, but he's not going to outshine Rashi Rice, and he's obviously
Yeah.
not going to outshine Travis Kelce. And when Hollywood Brown comes back, Hollywood is a much more physical wide receiver than either of him or Rashi Rice. So he's going to
Yeah.
get looks. So I don't know if he's going to have a spot, but he might as well try and cement one while he can.
Very true.
But I want to give it up to the Chiefs. They spread the ball around pretty well in that game. Like it wasn't bad by them, and I think that just goes to the fact that like a pretty good secondary and pretty good defense on the other side. You can't just throw to the same guy over and over again.
Yeah.
Against the Bengals, you might be able to get away with it, but you also have to look out because the defensive line's pretty strong. Yeah, I don't really have much else to say about this one, but I think the Chiefs will just kind of run away with this one. I'm going to go 27-10 Chiefs.
I was literally thinking the same thing.
Yeah. We have not predicted
Yeah,
a lot of close
27-10
games, I
Chiefs.
must say.
No.
And I don't think this one's going to be a close one either. Bears-Texans on Sunday Night Football. This is kind of the game. This is the game where we figure out if the Bears can hang.
Yeah.
Like, it was a bad win last week. A bad win. But you won. Now you make the adjustments and you try and keep winning. The Texans, not a bad win, but a hard win to get. That one was earned all the way to the end.
Definitely.
So I don't know what to think about the Bears right now because that offense looked fucking brutal against the Titans.
Although I am very excited about the Chicago Bears just having a loaded team for pretty much the first time in my entire lifetime,
Yeah.
just with how Mickey Mouse the game against the Titans was, I kind of want them to get blown out. And I think they will get blown out.
Is 93 passing yards not humbling enough?
They still won.
Yeah.
So
that's true.
Yeah, I don't know what to think of the Bears. Like I genuinely drafted DeAndre Swift in one league. That was a great pick on my part. I don't know what to think. That is true. I have no idea what to think about this Bears team anymore. Because even DJ Moore and Keenan Allen were a little bit quiet.
But
I mean,
it's
5
because of
receptions,
Caleb
4
Williams.
receptions. And Roma Dunze not really getting much over there as well.
The Bears,
DeAndre Swift even out of the backfield not getting any love, which is surprising.
Yeah, no, the Bears need to figure out the center position in particular. I can't even remember the guy's name. He fucking blew. He was so bad. Like they were letting the Titans defensive line get to Caleb so quickly. And like for a
Yeah.
rookie quarterback in his first game to just be under pressure at all times is just like it's impossible to be successful.
Yes.
Like that's like, I was listening
Yeah.
to like the Barstool Chicago guys and like Big Cat have been doing like a shorter podcast each week about the Bears. And they were talking about the fact that like one of the shortcomings that Ryan Poles has had his entire time as the GM of the Bears is the center position. I don't know why, but he's done such a good job making trades and draft picks and all this stuff, but he cannot figure out the center position. And it is so important. People don't really realize it. It is such an important position, especially when you have a young quarterback now.
Look at
And
Jason Kelsey's impact.
yeah, Jason Kelsey is like the most popular Philadelphia Eagle of the last 20 years.
Yeah.
It's unbelievable. And he's a center, and nobody ever talks about centers. There's probably a lot of football fans that can't name the center on their team.
Yeah.
Come to think of it, I can't name the center on my team. If I was, I genuinely can't think of the Falcons center at the moment.
Pretty sure ours is Frazier, one of the rookies that we drafted. Something Frazier. I don't know his first name.
Is it Will?
Zach Frazier?
Zach Frazier sounds right.
I think he's from West Virginia.
Yes.
I
Oh,
believe.
yeah. That's the guy that I had the Lions taking first round.
Yeah.
Okay. Bears Texans. Texans. Oh, gee, I don't know. Texans 27. No, Texans 24, just because the Bears defense is good. Texans 24, Bears 10.
I'm going to go Texans 28, Bears 14.
Okay, 2 touchdowns for the Bears. Either of them on offense.
We will see.
All right, last game, Falcons Eagles Monday Night Football. I'm scared to watch. I really am. And it's like,
oh, you guys have the Monday night game. Nice.
yeah, it's not just like the Falcons that I'm scared to watch. I'm scared to watch any of my teams right now. But like the Eagles offense is very good. I think the Falcons defense matches up well outside of the fact that like cornerback 2 is going to be a problem. And like they have a depth at wide receiver that I don't know if we'll match up well against. But we've got a good enough pass rush. Very good safeties. Not going to talk up AJ Terrell. I let George Pickens kind of have his way quite a few times. So, not gonna.
Didn't he also rip Najee Harris' helmet off?
Yes. Yep.
Yeah.
Jesse Bates essentially was just cleaning up every mistake that AJ Terrell made all game. It was unbelievable.
Professional Steeler hater.
Yeah. He looked like he hated the Steelers on that one where he just blew up that wide receiver, like at the goal line, blew up that wide receiver that was blocking and made the stop. Like that's just hatred.
It is hatred.
That was hatred.
I like that.
Yeah, look, I don't even know if I could even pick the Falcons here. The Eagles looked so good week 1. Outside of the defense didn't look good week 1, but the offense for the Eagles was just rolling against the Packers.
Yeah, and I mean, we'll see. I know the Eagles kind of are coming off of like a quiet, I guess you could say quiet pass rush game against Green Bay, but
yeah,
you know the Falcons' offensive line looked. They surprised me with how bad they were. I did not expect them to look
and
like
you had
that
I think
at
it was
all.
Lindstrom go down early. That kind of screwed things up.
Yeah,
especially because he was the one-on-one with TJ.
Yeah,
so that was just killing us. And Kyle Pitts can't block. He just cannot block.
Nah, he did get a touchdown though.
Yeah, I'm glad. He had to sit there and like stand in the corner and just be like, "I'm open." And then Kirk finally found him. But yeah,
yeah, I need to get Drake London more involved. I mean,
Agreed.
There's really no reason why Ray McLeod should be your leading receiver. Although I love me some Ray McLeod.
I'm glad that Ray played well. But I agree with you. Drake London needs way more targets.
And Bijan Robinson is probably. I'm going to say this now. He's the most disgusting player in the NFL.
He just does shit every week that just amazes me.
Yeah, He's just so shifty. Like, he is underrated king of the ankles.
That sounded so dumb.
He is the ankle collector, dude.
The way that you said that was just like,
Bro, come on. Let me gawk over your players, dog.
please
Cut that
don't.
out.
No,
We're gonna cut that out.
nope. Nothing gets cut from the podcast. Yeah, the Eagles are
man.
gonna win.
Yeah,
Kirk Cousins needs to
unfortunately.
stop throwing the ball when he's getting hit.
That was a big
I
part.
swear
Yeah.
to God, like
That was a really big
stop,
part.
please. Both interceptions. Both interceptions, he was getting hit.
Yeah, you can't be doing that. And that's something
No.
that he should kind of know by now.
You'd think.
Definitely.
He's fucking 37.
Yeah.
Like, figure it out.
I don't know. If let's say we have a similar performance, is it Michael Penix's season aside from how much Kirk is getting paid?
When's our bye
At
week?
what point
When's
do
our
you
bye
start
week?
calling for Michael Penix?
What's our bye week?
I don't remember.
I need to know what our bye week is. Because that's the best time to make a QB change.
Yeah.
Is a bye week for sure. Oh, I think we've got a early one. No, wait, what the fuck? Why? Okay. Yeah, we do have an early bye week. It's like, or wait, or is this a Thursday game? It's a Thursday game. Fuck. I think I'm dumb. Hold on. I was looking at something that didn't have our bye on it. Oh, no, we have a late bye week. Week 12. If Kirk's this bad for 12 weeks, I might quit this podcast. I might deactivate the YouTube channel. Yeah. If Kirk doesn't get his shit together after Carolina, if we don't win at Carolina week 6, I gotta see Michael Penix.
Okay.
I have to.
Yeah.
Because that's a big stretch for us. Like, the start of the season's big, but after Carolina as well, you got Seattle, Tampa on the road, Dallas comes to Atlanta, Saints on the road, and then you're at Denver, and then you go into your bye week.
Yeah.
That's a big run for us, especially if we start off bad like we already have.
Yeah.
Because,
And
like,
I think
honestly,
I told you,
we're probably going to start off 0-3 now. We're not beating the Eagles
Really?
this
You
week.
think
We're not
so?
beating the Chiefs next week.
Oh wow, that is tough.
Yeah. That's brutal.
Wow. But I think I told you after the Steelers game, I still believe that the Falcons have like something to build off.
I
of.
agree.
With
I
all
agree.
the talent that they acquired. Like I'll even say this: like Darnell Mooney, 1 reception, 15 yards. His route running looked really, really good.
Yeah.
Against the Steelers, he probably could have gotten the ball more. So I don't know. With the Eagles being volatile, I think the Falcons have a chance, but it's gonna be a lot tougher than the Steelers. That's for sure.
Yeah, I'm gonna go. Eagles 24, Falcons 21.
Okay, I'm gonna go Eagles. Eagles 27, Falcons 13.
Okay, that's it for the NFL. Week 2 coming up.
Ooh.
Got Thursday Night Football that'll already have happened. Got everything going on Sunday, and then Monday Night Football to bring it all back around. Anything that we need to cover in the NFL before we talk about the MLB?
We could talk about Shannon Sharp.
We'll talk about Unk during questions time.
Oh, okay.
It's not in the questions. We're just gonna. I
Okay.
want to save it till then because I want to go ahead and get into our stuff in the MLB. So, without further ado,
Let's do it.
MLB recap time, and it starts off as it has for like the past month with Shohei Ohtani. He just won't stop. He won't. 48 steals, 47 home runs now. Unbelievable.
Oh no.
He's easily tracking for 50-50. He's still got, I think, like 15 to 20 games left. Not 20, but like 15, I think. Something around there. He's going to get it. He is 100% getting 50-50. Yeah, I don't even know what else to say. Like he's just absolutely balling out. Nobody is contending with him for a National League MVP.
No,
Yeah,
not
Francisco
at all.
Lindor wishes. He wishes. Um,
Silly Mets.
yeah, and like it's not even like Shohei's like barely doing it. You can't
No.
barely get 50-50. Like
Yeah.
and it's not like he's just like he's stealing bases at will. He's hitting fucking nukes. Like I think the 47th home run I think got off the bat at like 118. Like it's unfair how good he is at baseball.
Yeah. It's ridiculous, but it's fun to be a part of. It's fun to be a
It is
part of the
cool.
Shohei Ohtani
Yeah.
era. So
Yeah, I do absolutely hate the fact that he's getting way more love for this than Ronald Acuna got last year.
yeah.
Nobody was talking about Shohei tracking for 40-40 except us. We were talking about it at 30-30. Nobody
Yeah.
was saying anything. And then all of a sudden, it's like, oh, he's at 39-39. We should pay attention to this. And he gets 40-40, and all of a sudden, nobody can get Shohei's cock out of their mouth. Like, it's unbelievable.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
Wild.
Everybody, like, the way that Paw Patrol came on, and everybody was just like, oh, fuck Aaron Judge. It's Shohei Ohtani time.
Yeah.
That's all that happened. Paw Patrol. That's what changed.
Yep.
Let's talk about pitching, though. Bowden Francis just does it again. He just said, fuck it. I'm going to take another no-hitter into the ninth inning. Within 4 starts, he does it for the second time. And like, this guy, he's just unstoppable unless it's the ninth inning. Because he took another no-hit bid. It was lost versus the New York Mets. He went 8 innings pitched, and he gave up 1 hit, 1 walk, and that 1 hit was the home run in the ninth inning.
Jesus.
Crazy. What's even crazier, though, is like he only struck out like 1 batter in this entire game.
Wow.
Yeah.
He had a good defense that day.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, the Blue Jays defense looked pretty good. But, yeah, he was just pitching great. And then after he gave up that home run, the Mets proceeded to bat around the Blue Jays. They took him out of the game as soon as he gave up the home run. And they bat around the order and won 6-2. So, like, not only did he go that deep, he didn't even get a win.
No.
It's crazy. It's also the lowest whip in a 6-start span in MLB history.
Wow.
Yeah, so he had a .4 whip over 6 starts. Second best, Jacob deGrom in 2021, .41. And before that, Grover Alexander, a .48 in 1915.
I was about to say, who is Grover Alexander?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, there's a reason nobody knows who Grover Alexander is. It's because he's old as
Is Grover
fuck.
Alexander in the Hall of Fame?
If I had to guess, he probably is. Any fucking name that shows up out of the old days that's like still close to a record is probably in the Hall of Fame. I'm fact checking it right now. Yeah, he sure is. Oh yeah, I know who this guy is because his name's fucking Grover Cleveland Alexander. He's literally just named after a president.
Wow.
His nickname was Old Pete. There's
Love
nothing close to Pete in his name.
No.
At all. This guy won the Triple Crown 3 times as a pitcher.
Oh my God.
And was the 5-time leader in ERA.
All right.
This
Grover
guy
Alexander, bro.
died like less than 7 years after World War II ended.
Wow.
This guy died in 1950. If you'd like to visit his cemetery, he was buried at Elmwood Cemetery in St. Paul, Nebraska.
Good to know.
I love that that's on his baseball reference page.
We'll have to vlog at his cemetery.
Yeah. No, I'm good actually. I don't need to go to Nebraska for anything. Bowden Francis is also the first pitcher since 1989, which was Nolan Ryan, with 2 no-hit bids lost in the 9th inning in a single season.
He's joining some elite people on these lists.
Yeah. Some of the best pitchers of all time, like Nolan Ryan and
Grover Alexander.
Grover Cleveland Alexander. Old Pete.
Yeah.
And Jacob
Old Pete.
deGrom. the least healthy pitcher of all time.
Yeah,
And then after this game, Bowden Francis rode his e-bike home. Yeah, he
man.
looked like every late 20s hipster out there. Like he was wearing like
Yeah.
one of those like dumb hats that he clearly thrifted. That's from some like electrical company. He was like, I think he had like a Walkman on, and he was riding like a fucking $5,000 e-bike.
Mm,
But
nice.
little did everybody know that he was passing by. He's like, oh yeah, I just threw 8 innings of no hit baseball.
Yeah. Now I'm gonna ride away on
For
my
the
e-bike.
second time in like a month.
Yeah.
Unbelievable. We'll keep talking about good pitching and honestly, no hit bids. This one was a perfect game bid by Brian Wu versus the Padres. 6.2 innings, 2 earned runs, 2 hits, one of those being a home run, 1 walk, 5 strikeouts, and 89 pitches. He was perfect through 6.1 and then gave up a home run, another hit, and a walk in that inning. And then they took him out after recording one more out. But this his perfect game was broken up by Fernando Tatis, who hit that home run. And then in the bottom of the 7th,
This was crazy.
Tatis robbed Randy Rosarena's home run.
Yeah.
Just unbelievable. I
Yeah,
think they still
didn't
lost. I think the Padres
Didn't
still
we
lost.
both predict Tatis to be our NL MVP?
We might have. I think you're
I
right.
think we both did, yeah.
Well, Shohei is, unfortunately.
Yeah. Rip.
It's whatever. And now that we've talked about good pitching, we naturally have to talk about bad pitching. Edwin Uceda entered the game for the Rays in the bottom of the 8th versus the Phillies. I believe this was on Tuesday. There was already 1 out and runners on second and third when he came into the game. He proceeded to give up 5 runs and then hit Nick Castellanos on the first pitch of his at bat, so obviously on purpose. So Uceda was just mad that he was playing like shit and was just like, I need to hit Nick Castellanos. And he did. And it was so obviously on purpose because that was Edwin Uceda's fastest pitch he's thrown in the MLB.
Hit a baseball player.
Like you
Yeah.
you couldn't you couldn't have
That
been
is
more
fucking-
obvious throwing the hard, like I think he threw 96. Like that's the hardest he's ever thrown in the majors. I think it may be in his professional career, the hardest he's ever thrown. And it was to hit Nick Castellanos.
See, and what's crazy is why don't you just use that energy and get it over the fucking plate?
Because he probably threw out his arm. Speaking of getting thrown out, he did get thrown out. And then
Nice.
also got a 3-game suspension. Bench is cleared as well after that hit by pitch, of course, as it naturally does. But he got a 3-game suspension. And Kevin Cash, the Rays manager, also got a 1-game suspension.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So that was cool. The day later, Wednesday, the 23rd anniversary of 9/11. I hate the word anniversary. That doesn't seem fitting. Does that make any sense?
Yeah.
It doesn't feel.
yeah, no,
It's
I
like
get
it's
that.
like how you don't say Happy Memorial Day.
Yeah.
It doesn't seem right to say anniversary of 9/11. Anniversaries seem to be happy things typically. Nonetheless,
Yeah.
Wednesday was the 23rd year since those horrific events. And Nick Castellanos did his thing, unfortunately. Fortunately, I guess, for him. He had a 2-run home run. Of course.
He never fails.
He never fails, dude. It's unbelievable.
No.
Like, the Phillies should start, like, making bad things happen around the world for Nick Castellanos to just go
It
crazy.
should.
Yeah. like,
Yeah.
what harm does it do just, like, going to some small island and just, like, testing testing a few things out?
Jesus Christ.
I'm not
Yeah, I
saying
mean-
killing anybody. I'm just saying, like, I don't know, make, like, an earthquake happen. I don't know how that works. Surely
doubt.
somebody can figure it out.
Oh, Lord. The Yankees had a crazy 9/11 game
Yeah. The hats were amazing.
yesterday.
Hats
Yeah, I
were
love
awesome.
that every year.
Yeah.
Every year, that's one of the coolest traditions.
Yeah.
I think they do that on 4th of July,
They might.
maybe? I feel like they do it on another day, but yeah, if you would have told me 2 years ago that Jazz Chisholm was going to be the best player of the Yankees for like a couple months, I would have never believed you.
Yeah. Yeah,
I love
I
that kid.
I wouldn't have thought of that either, personally. I thought he was
Yeah.
gonna be a
I mean,
huge bust of a trade.
yeah, he's
That's on
playing better
record.
than the Cap right now.
Yeah, we'll talk about the cap in a minute or so. We
Yeah.
will talk about Eugenio Suarez though. Right now, he was a triple away from the cycle against the Rangers the other night, and comes up in the seventh inning, already a triple away from the cycle, and then just hit a second home run instead of getting the triple. Um,
Wow.
and he's a Diamondback. They were playing at Chase Field, which is like one of the best places to hit a triple. You got deep
Yeah.
corners out there by center field. But Eugenio Suarez is also very slow, so probably best that he just went ahead and hit the home run.
Yeah. Good point.
Emmanuel Clase recorded his 44th save this season. That is league leading 44th save, and it also matches his career high from last season.
Wow.
This guy is on unbelievable pace. Now, right now, he's still behind the pace of Mariano Rivera. But based on games finished, they're very close to each other. I believe Clase is at 95, 95 saves in like 155 games finished. And then Mario Rivera, I think, was 652 in 952 games finished.
Oh, wow.
So Clase is certainly doing his thing, kind of behind, but he's also only in like the fourth season of his career. And his first season, I don't think he got like any saves, or he might have got two. And then like he had a PED suspension in 2020, I think. And then he had 22 saves the year after that, and now 44 in the last 2 years,
Yeah. Clase,
or 3 years, I think.
and the thing is too with Clase is he could probably still get better.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like we may have not even seen his full form yet.
Yeah. He's looked unbelievable. And it also helps his save numbers, the fact that the Guardians have been so good this year. They're in
Yes.
positions to win games now.
Finally.
Now let's talk about the cap. Aaron Judge hit 2 home runs on August 25th, which put him on pace for 63 for the season. In the 14 games since that, he has gone 10 for 51 with 0 home runs and only 4 RBIs.
Yep.
What the fuck? What happened? Paw Patrol. Yeah. Paw Patrol happened.
All I could say.
Yeah. It's the Paw Patrol curse.
Which it's really, and Grayson, I knew it was going to happen. I knew it was going to happen very close to the playoffs.
Yeah.
I knew it.
Yeah.
It's just unfortunate, man.
It is unfortunate, but we'll see what happens. Things always change. Things always change in the playoffs. Aaron Judge can play really well all season, and then he'll suck in the playoffs. So maybe this is the right time for him to be bad.
Exactly.
Okay.
Yeah.
So this last thing, just bear with me. I'm just going to read super fast and get through it, but I wanted to talk about this. There's just a lot of details to go along with it. So the Los Angeles Angels, everybody was saying they got eliminated from playoff contention the other day, but they weren't. They weren't technically eliminated from playoff contention. So following their loss, a bunch of people were saying that they were, and it's not true. So they were at 60 and 85 with 17 games left. At best, they could win 77 games. The Yankees, Orioles, Guardians, and the Royals all currently have more than 77 wins. So the Angels, at best, can achieve the third wild card. But that spot is held by the Twins for now, and the Twins have already won 77 games and hold the season tiebreaker against the Angels 4-1. So that would eliminate them from the wild card. They can still win the AL West, though. And it's because, and also this might already be done because I don't know what the Astros did in the last day. But the current standings were the Astros at 77 and 67, the Mariners 73, 72, Rangers 70 and 75, the Athletics 63 and 82, and the Angels 60 and 75. So yes, you heard that right. The Angels are worse than the Athletics. Now, the Mariners and Rangers play 7. The Mariners and Astros play 3. Mariners and Athletics play 3. Mariners and Angels play no more games, but the Angels have the tiebreaker. The Rangers and Astros not play anymore, and the Astros have the tiebreaker. Rangers and Athletics play 3 more times. Rangers and Angels play 3 more times. The Angels and the Athletics don't play any more games, but Oakland has the tiebreaker. Not even going to keep going on that. Assuming that the Angels win out and all other AL West teams lose all their remaining non-divisional games, the following can happen. The Angels would win out and finish 77-85. The Astros lose the rest of their games and finish 77-85. The Mariners take 3 against the Astros and 1 against the Rangers to finish 77-85. The Rangers take 6 from the Mariners and lose all other games and finish 76-86. The Athletics take 3 from the Mariners, 2 from the Astros, 3 from the Rangers, and finish 71-91. And in this case, the Angels, Astros, and Mariners would all finish with a record of 77-85, but the Angels would have both tiebreakers, and thus they would win the AL West and make the playoffs.
Oh, okay. It's really easy.
Yeah, it's super easy. Can't you tell? Is this going to happen? No.
No.
So yeah, the Angels are eliminated from the playoffs.
Oh man, dude! I bet you they wish they had Brent Roker.
I bet you they wish they had Shohei Ohtani or a healthy Mike Trout.
Yeah.
Or anything. I bet they wish they had anything. But yeah, everybody was talking shit on the Angels. They weren't out just yet, but I think they might be. I think that was outdated now. So I don't know. Okay, that's all I've got for the MLB. You got anything?
The only thing that I had was the Yankees' crazy 9/11 game yesterday.
Okay.
Yeah. So
well,
we already talked about that.
Yeah. Then we will proceed, as per usual, with soccer. I'm not even going to call it football. I'm not going to say it's a different type of football because we're not talking about football before. I've unfortunately taken that option away from me.
Yeah.
And we will talk about soccer, as it should be called. This week sucks in the Premier League. It really does. I was really grasping at straws to find 3 good matchups, let alone 2. So if this isn't enough of a sign, our first game is Man City versus Brentford.
Go.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Brentford have been surprisingly good to start the season. They're still going to get the floor wiped with them. But they have started off relatively well. Based on my anticipation, I would assume they would have been right there near the bottom. But at the moment, I think they sit in 7th? 6th. Well, they're in 6th.
Yeah, and if you guys watched my my Wednesday video, the Premier League, the August Premier League Players of the Month, you would know that Brentford had 2 players that made that list. Both of which are going to be really important for this game, and are probably the only 2 chances that actually there was 3 players. I had an honorable mention as well, but Mark Flecken and Brian Mbemo are Brentford's best chances. Look, you have a striker with 3 goals in 3 games, which is solid. Of course, coming off of an international break, things could get weird. Momentum could be lost. But if there's one goalie to keep their team in a Premier League game against a high-octane offense like Manchester City, it might be Mark Flecken, because he is just a shot stopper. But Brentford are going to lose 4-0.
Okay, cool.
So yeah,
yeah, I don't see it going any other way. Maybe a little less goals. Personally,
I'll give it 3-1. 3-1 Brent.
Okay.
3-1 City. Yeah.
Okay. Look, Man City is just undeniable, and I will say I was about to say Erling Haaland's coming off a good international appearance. He scored a goal. In their game against Austria. On the opposite side, Kevin De Bruyne might just quit playing international soccer because of Belgium.
The most toxic team of all time.
Yeah, no, Kevin De Bruyne literally said that the tactics and the team in general are so bad that he doesn't want to play for them anymore.
It's wild.
It's unbelievable.
Yeah.
How could you let it get to that point? This team is loaded, and they've been loaded for 10 fucking years, and they haven't won shit.
Yeah, and at what point do you just say, okay, but does, kind of, I guess, serving your country in a way, obviously not as a soldier, but,
yes.
When does that just outweigh how bad you are? Because, guys like Erling Haaland, they don't care. They're
Yeah.
obviously on a much worse team, but they're gonna play,
Yeah.
you know? So I don't I've always hated when players come out and they throw like really good star players come out and throw their national teams that are way worse than their club just completely like
But
under the bus
Belgium
like that. No
shouldn't be.
matter that's a good point as well. Yeah, I mean
Belgium shouldn't be that
we
bad. Even in the heyday, like when you had Eden Hazard kind of maybe more moving towards the tail end of his prime, but Kevin De Bruyne was extremely good already at City. And then like you throw on Vincent Company was a solid, a rock solid center back. You had the options of Vertonghen and Alderweireld in the defense, and you had Thibaut Courtois in goal, and a Romelu Lukaku who was a shining star in the Premier League at the time, and numerous other players. Raja Nainggolan was a top player in Italy at the time.
yeah.
They had a prime and did fuck all with it.
Yeah.
And then they've made changes year over year, and they still haven't gotten better. This is a
Yeah.
team that would go into tournaments, the World Cup, the Euros. They would go in as like I think at times they were number one in the FIFA
Yeah.
rankings, and they would do fucking nothing. So I don't
Yeah.
blame Kevin De Bruyne at all for being mad about Belgium.
Yeah, but I think you still play. It's not going to get better if
What's
he
the
doesn't
point
play.
in playing in a team where they won't make the right changes?
Because it's your country, man. Like,
But when it comes down to it, why would Kevin De Bruyne go out there and play soccer that doesn't mean anything necessarily outside of playing for his country? Why would he go out there and play that when it just means he could get hurt? Because that's what Martin Odegaard did this week.
did Martin Odegaard get hurt?
Yeah, Martin Odegaard went out and played against Austria and got subbed out in the 67th with an injury.
Oh, yeah. Well, I don't know. I think injury when it comes to playing for your country should be completely irrelevant. But what the case I will make for De Bruyne is since it has become such a toxic environment, I personally wouldn't want to play for that team either because they all hate each other.
Yeah,
They sleep with each other's girlfriends.
yeah, yeah.
So, it, like in terms of that, I could see not playing. But in terms of just being bad, like Messi lost a Copa America final and literally quit. He retired. Biggest pussy move that's overlooked
That's true.
in the history of sports,
Yeah.
in my opinion. And I kind of feel like this is.
But that was
it's
also
not,
his way of making them make changes, which worked.
Yeah. True. True. But I don't know. I hate that. But going back to Man City Brentford, I think it'll probably be like 3-1 Man City over
Yeah.
Brentford. Do we get to see Rodri? Is he back yet?
I don't know. I will go ahead and check. Um,
That would be interesting to know.
yeah, I'm probably gonna go Man City 2-0.
Okay.
Let me see if Rodri is back. It looks like the only guys out right now are Nathan Ake, Oscar Bob, and potentially Phil Foden. That's all I'm seeing.
So is it Rodri time?
I guess so.
That's exciting.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, he's in their projected lineup actually.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
All right. Okay. Let's go to the next game then. Bournemouth Chelsea. I just kind of wanted to give you the chance to talk about Chelsea.
Yeah, man, we've had such a bizarre start to the season. And in typical Chelsea fashion, there's no other way to start for us than 3 games, 1 win, 1 draw, 1 loss.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. Like the game against Wolves had me so high, and I feel like we didn't even really look that bad against Crystal Palace, but we still drew to them, which was the first time we hadn't beaten them at Stamford Bridge in like 14 matchups.
Yeah.
Man, I don't know. I really, it's so hard to talk about Chelsea, man. It's so hard. I might need you to take this away from me for a second while I gather my thoughts because I don't know.
Yeah, I got you. So
I do not know.
My thing with putting this one in here, obviously, I wanted you to get the chance to talk about Chelsea, but also Bournemouth hasn't really been that bad. That's kind of the main reason I put them here. They're ahead of Chelsea in the table right now in 8th. They are unbeaten at the moment. They have 1 win, 2 draws. But those 2 draws to start the season, Nottingham Forest certainly not great. They drew Newcastle, and then they beat Everton 3-2. So not like the highest class opponents that they're showing good results against, but this is a team they can contend with in Chelsea right now, just with the form that they're in.
Yeah, I think for me, I would like to see more consistency from Enzo and Caicedo
Yeah.
because I mean we've seen them both at the top of their game. They're phenomenal, but when they're bad, everything just falls apart. One thing that I can respect is I feel like this is the best I've seen Correa consistently play in a Chelsea uniform.
Yeah, and it's coming off
That's
of that
that's very
great
promising.
Euros performance, so it makes sense.
Exactly. And that man on the right wing, that Raheem Sterling prestiged Noni Madueke is he might be my favorite player so far this season. He is
He's looked
entertaining.
really good.
Yes.
Yeah,
He
it's
is
been really
awesome.
good. Yeah, I think my thing with Chelsea right now is just like it just seems disorganized.
Yeah.
Whenever I see them on the field, it just doesn't seem right. Like nothing's quite working in my eyes, and I don't know if that's a Maresca problem. I don't know if that's a player problem. It just doesn't seem right. Like the Wolves game looked great, but it wasn't perfect. Like there was things to take away from that game that weren't perfect.
Yeah.
And then of course, you have the draw with Crystal Palace, where obviously you would have liked to see much better goal scoring ability out of Chelsea,
Yeah.
just because Crystal Palace is such a weak team at the moment because they had so many transfers out and really didn't bring in all that much back in.
I mean,
Um,
the best thing they did was kept Ezzy,
yeah, yeah, that's like the only
pretty
thing
much.
because
Yeah.
they lost just about everything else. Okay, if my eyes keep going to like this left corner of the room, it's because I tried to put up soundproofing. I ordered some soundproofing, and I
Yeah.
ordered adhesive things that weren't technically for soundproofing, but I thought they'd work. Um, I put them up last night. Every single one of the panels has fallen off at least like 4 different times, and there's so many adhesive patches on that wall.
Ah.
So there's literally like I think the Amazon package is like out for delivery. It literally got dropped off 3 minutes ago at my front door. So it's gonna be figured out. Don't worry. The room will
Nice.
be soundproofed, and they will stay on the wall. Hopefully, crossing my fingers. Um, Back to what we were saying. Bournemouth, Chelsea. I'm gonna go 1-1. I hate to do that to you, but I'm gonna go 1-1.
I I was gonna say the same thing.
Yeah,
In fact, I was gonna ask you, do you want me to be biased or do you want me to be real? Because biased would be 2-1.
yeah.
Real would be 1-1.
Yeah, I think for you
So,
guys, it's just like Bournemouth is playing a little bit better than you would anticipate, but Chelsea is just so disorganized at the moment. Um,
which it sucks, Grayson, because like if you watch a Chelsea game, we are entertaining to watch. Like the passing when it's
yes,
connecting,
yes,
it's nice. It's the through balls and then the finishing
I agree.
where Chelsea are lacking, and sometimes we'll have defensive lapses as well. But yeah, I'm gonna go 1-1 Chelsea Bournemouth.
Okay, final game on Sunday, the North London Derby, Spurs versus Arsenal. I already talked about the fact
Ooh.
Odegaard went down in Norway's match versus Austria. You also had Riccardo Calafiori go down for Italy. Did you see his injury?
Yes, someone
The most
tripped and stepped on his heel.
absurd thing. The guy
Yeah,
tripped and like flew forward and landed on the back of his leg.
yeah,
Just unbelievably unlucky.
yeah. Very unlucky. I don't even know what
That's
to say. That just makes me upset,
yeah,
honestly.
it's a tough loss for Arsenal, and then Declan Rice is still facing a red card suspension from before the break, so he'll be out as well for this match.
Yeah,
Arsenal
at least it's.
injuries. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
Oh, I was gonna say at least it's not as bad as Dre Greenlaw in the Super Bowl though.
That's true.
That still is the most unfortunate
Yeah.
injury I've ever seen. But anyway, continue.
Yeah,
What were you
Arsenal
saying?
just has so many guys missing this game. Gabriel Jesus is going to be out. Odegaard is going to be out. Declan Rice is out. Mikel Moreno is still out from his like debut. I think he made his debut and got hurt. Calafiori's out. Tomayasu's out. Kieran Tierney's out. So you're missing 2 fullbacks as well. Arsenal's missing a lot, but Tottenham is missing some important players as well. Dominic Solanke's still not going. Richarlison is out again, and Yves Basuma is questionable at the moment. those are a lot of
Mickey Van
important
de Ven is
players.
doubtful as well.
Yeah, Van de Ven as well. So a lot of things to look for here in this matchup because it might not be either team at their full strength.
Yeah, that's a good point, which I think could shake up for a very tough physical North London derby. I think the difference maker here is I like some of the guys on Tottenham and what they've been doing consistently a lot better than the guys on Arsenal. Now Arsenal have also looked really really good,
Yeah,
but Heung-min Son, Pedro Porro, Christian Romero just look at the top of their game right now.
definitely.
And for those three reasons, those three guys right there, I'm kind of leaning more towards Tottenham, especially factoring in Arsenal's all of their missing players.
Yeah, for me with Tottenham, it's just that like I've seen them be successful without the guys that are missing. I haven't really seen a successful Arsenal team without Odegaard and Rice, and
That's
obviously
a
Calafiori hasn't been in the team long, but I haven't seen them be successful without those two in the lineup.
that's a really good point. Yeah.
So, but then again, with Spurs, right before the international break, they lost to Newcastle, and I'm not going to shit on my own team because I'm super proud of that win, but
Yeah.
that's probably not a team that this Tottenham lineup should be losing to.
Yeah, probably not.
So
Probably
I
not.
think this one's going to get played super close, just like every time this rivalry should be played. But I'm going to go Spurs 1-0. I don't think Arsenal's going to have the playmaking
Ooh.
to score.
Yeah, it's a good one. Yeah, I might have to jump in there with you
Okay.
again, 1-0 because I can't really see it being 2-1
Yeah.
for Tottenham, because Arsenal's defense is still relatively healthy,
Oh yeah.
and we know what those guys can do. So yeah, I think 1-0 is the perfect scoreline here.
Yep. Okay. Well, that's everything. Let's go through the matches just real quick. Everything else that you can watch. Got on Saturday, Southampton versus Man United, Brighton versus Ipswich, Crystal Palace versus Leicester, Fulham versus West Ham, Liverpool versus Nottingham Forest, Man City Brentford, Aston Villa Everton, Bournemouth Chelsea. Like I said, this weekend sucks. And then on Sunday,
Yeah.
you got two games. You got Spurs Arsenal, and then Wolves and Newcastle. I believe it is now
Okay.
time to preview the Champions League, the brand new
Oh.
look Champions League. I'm excited for this. We already kind of got the excitement rolling last week talking about these the big matchups that we saw from the draw. Now, I just kind of want to go through and kind of just address a bunch of the teams here. Obviously, we're not going to talk about fucking Sparta Praha or whatever the fuck that team's called. But we're going to talk about like my thought is give a couple teams that we think are guaranteed top 8 teams that'll automatically qualify for the round of 16. Talk about maybe a couple surprise teams people might not be looking for to finish up top or even just in the middle. And then teams that we do think are just locked in for the middle of the pack. So maybe like borderline top 8 teams is maybe what I'm thinking there. And then as well, just a couple teams that I think will be letdowns in the Champions League phase. So
Okay.
um, very quickly, I'm just gonna kind of hit every team that's there. I know some people probably don't care to hear this part, but I would like to just put out there the different teams that are competing here. So just bear with me real quick. We've got Arsenal, Aston Villa, Atalanta, Atletico Madrid, Borussia Dortmund, Barcelona, Bayern Munich, Benfica, Bologna, Brest, Celtic, Club Bruges, Belgrade, Red Star Belgrade, Feyenoord, Girona, Dynamo Kiev. Or sorry, is that a different Dynamo? Fuck, I know there's two different Dynamos. It's G and K Dynamo, the one from fucking Croatia. I don't know if
Oh,
that's not Kiev.
yeah.
That's
No, that would
Zagreb.
be Kiev.
Dynamo Zagreb. That's who it is.
Okay.
Not Kiev. Sorry. Inter, Juventus, Leipzig, Leverkusen, Lille, Liverpool, Man City, Milan, Monaco, PSG, PSV, Real Madrid, Bratislava from Slovakia, Red Bull Salzburg, Shakhtar Donetsk, Sparta Praha as the aforementioned team, Sporting Lisbon, Sturm Graz, Stuttgart, and Young Boys from Switzerland. Those are the teams competing. Obviously, you name 5 of them. Just kidding. yeah, I just want to kind of quickly hit on a couple of teams we're looking forward to, maybe that we're not high on. So let's start with some teams that we think are guaranteed top 8 finishers in the league phase.
Um, Guaranteed top 8 in the league phase.
I think
Okay,
there's only 4 to
probably
me.
or guaranteed.
Yeah, 4 ones where like I look at them, I look at their schedule, and I'm like, yep, they're making it.
Um, okay, Real Madrid,
Yep,
Liverpool,
yep,
Man City,
yep. My other one might be a little bit more of a surprise.
Aston Villa.
No, I do have them in my surprise teams though, because I don't know if a lot of people are really looking forward to that one as much.
Are you thinking like Juventus or Inter?
Yeah, I'm thinking Juventus.
Juventus.
Yeah,
Okay.
I think they have a relatively easy draw. They play PSV, Leipzig, Stuttgart, Lille. Then they play Aston Villa, Man City back to back, which is tough. But you have Club Bruges and then Benfica. It's
Okay.
a pretty easy draw. There's really like 2 potential losses there in my eyes for Juventus with how good of changes they've made over the past year.
I think the team that I'm predicting to be the most like disappointing, I think would probably be Aston Villa
Yeah,
for me. Yeah, just because of like teams that have crept in the Champions League from the Premier League. Like I remember the season where Leicester won the league. They didn't even make it out of the group stage.
true.
Um, so just kind of following that
Don't
notion.
ask
I don't
about
know. Like
Newcastle.
well, Newcastle had the group of death though. So
That's true.
we'll be
We would have qualified in
and
like any other group.
yeah, and I
And we
would
came in
say
last.
y'all's feet were dug in the ground though.
Yeah.
Y'all didn't just get rolled over, so
No, no.
there's a positive there. But
Beat PSG.
yeah, beat PSG. I I hate this. I hate to say this, but I don't think it's AC Milan's year like at all. Like have you
Really?
seen them benching Leao and Fernandez?
I didn't know that.
Yeah, it's been a little bit weird because like there was one time where like they both got subbed off or like subbed on or something. No, it would have been subbed off. And they walked off together off the other side of the pitch.
That's not good.
Yeah.
It's never a good sign.
Yeah,
I do like what AC Milan has going. Like I think they could surprise some people just because the talent is there and like they have depth as
for
well.
sure.
So going into the Champions League, especially, a lot of teams show off their depth here, and I think AC Milan is one of those teams that can do that.
Yeah, maybe we'll get to see how Morata perform well in
Yeah,
the UCL as
yeah.
well. So,
Another surprise team I've got, I think, is Leipzig. I feel like people are just a little bit low on Leipzig just because they keep shipping off good players. But I still think they're a good team. They have just such a fantastic youth system. And by youth system, I mean they have millions and millions of dollars to go buy the best young players. Um, but I do
oh
think
god.
Leipzig is one of those teams that could surprise you just because you're maybe not looking for it. As well as Girona. I think Girona just has money. And they're lucky enough to be part of Citigroup and
Mhm.
just be here. That's the biggest thing. They're lucky enough to be here. I don't know if surprise means they're gonna like make the top 8, but I think surprise means they'll probably be one of those higher seeds that gets the home field in the playoff.
Yeah, what are we thinking about Dortmund this year? Like, are we still kind of relying on that
I'm
revolving door of talent
I don't
to
I'm
just
not.
fill in?
I don't think they've
I'm not
done it
either.
enough. Like what do they have now, young talent wise?
Well, they don't
Adeyemi?
have Fulkrug.
Like is it is it that's the only one I can even think of right now is Adeyemi.
Yeah, I'm drawing blanks here. They don't have Ian Matson anymore.
No. They don't have Sancho back.
Yeah,
He's gone.
yeah, no Sancho, no Royce.
Nope. They have Julian Brandt.
Yeah,
That's
I've been waiting on him to break out for like 9 years now.
yeah. Yeah. And like I can never count on a defender being there for more than a year before he goes to Bayern Munich.
Yeah, exactly.
um yeah, I see them as just a middle of the pack, maybe even a letdown team. It might be, but I don't have expectations enough for them to let me down. Like
Yeah.
that's kind of where I'm at. Um My kind of middle of the pack teams, I have Aston Villa here. I have Benfica. I have Lille as well, which maybe is more of a surprise than anything.
Mhm.
That Lille would be kind of middle of the pack. I see Atleti and Barcelona being like fringe top 8 teams.
Yeah.
Because I don't know what Barcelona has to offer whatsoever at any time right now.
Well,
Um,
they couldn't give you money. That's for
yeah, they
sure.
certainly couldn't offer me money. That's
Yeah.
for sure. Like we make the jokes about like the Saudis buying out this podcast. Barcelona might not be able to buy out this podcast, and it would
No.
not cost a lot.
Barcelona can't afford second and short.
Yeah, no, Barcelona cannot afford this podcast.
Oh man, I was really hoping they would buy us.
Yeah, and after Atletico's summer window, I don't know if we're in the budget either. You
Yeah,
spent a
probably
lot of money on
not.
Julian Alvarez.
Yeah, they sure did.
But yeah, like Atleti and Barcelona could obviously like shit. They could fucking finish second in this league phase. But I think they're also both teams that are a little bit too volatile. Like Atletico Madrid, I'm excited to watch, but I don't know how those players that they added truly fit into Simeone's system.
Like who?
I don't know if sorry if shit, why am I blanking on his name now? Julian Alvarez and like Conor Gallagher. I don't know if they exactly fit. I think Gallagher definitely fits more than Alvarez, but yeah, I don't know. It's kind of weird. They're unorthodox signings for Atletico Madrid, in my opinion.
I don't know. I think that they're both good. Only because like they had João Felix for so long and he looks
Yeah,
so good there. I feel like Alvarez is similar. Like they're both
kind
kind of
of.
dribbler,
Yeah,
passer guys with that kind of like low key finishing ability. And then Conor Gallagher, I think is like I would say perfect in my opinion,
I
just
think he
because he'll
fits.
run, he'll
Yeah,
sprint everywhere. And with Simeone's tactic of extreme like dropping back and extreme getting
yeah,
forward, it's all just very quick and
he
doing a
does
lot of
fit that
running.
part.
Yeah, Conor Gallagher could definitely pull that off.
I also just
So
like the idea of an English player in La Liga just doesn't seem right to me. Like I know Kieran Trippier
it,
literally played for Atletico Madrid, and like David
it's
Beckham
the
played for
same
Real
thing.
Madrid.
It's the
Sorry,
same thing with
yeah,
Harry
yeah, yeah.
Kane going to Bayern
Yeah, it doesn't seem right.
too. Yeah, it does
English
not seem
players
right.
aren't supposed to play anywhere except maybe Italy on loan.
Yeah, like Joe Hart
Yeah.
or
Joe
Torino.
Hart, uh, you have yeah, Tammy Abraham, Fikayo Tomori. He's not even on loan. He's just playing there.
Yeah, Gary Lineker
Chris
was sick at
Smalling.
Barcelona.
Chris Smalling plays in Italy as well.
Chris Smalling's in Saudi Arabia now.
Oh, that's right. That is right.
Yeah.
Also, did you see that Rafael Varane's getting benched at at Como?
No,
Yeah.
no way.
Yeah, apparently he's been that just horrendous as like a person, I think, as a teammate. And just in the
It,
system.
dude, it's because he walked outside of his new Lake Como mansion and he was like, I don't give a fuck about playing soccer
Dude,
anymore.
he's like, fuck soccer. Look at this view.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm gonna go through some of my letdowns, and I think it's just that there are teams that overexceeded expectations last year and then lost important players.
Okay.
Bologna, huge letdown. They're gonna get eliminated, I would guess. Or if not, there'll
Yeah.
be a very low seed in that playoff stage. Atalanta, kind of for the same reason, they didn't lose quite as much, but the teams that win the Europa League don't often see much success in the Champions League the next year. Uh, we already
Yeah.
like you know who won it last year? Was it West Ham or did West Ham win the Conference League last year?
I thought West Ham won the Conference League 2 years ago.
Dude, I don't even know.
Wasn't it? Was it a Greek team?
Well, I don't think so. I
Um,
can't think of it. It might have been a French team. Let's just name all the countries in Europe. It might have been them.
yeah, it was.
Was it
Oh wait,
Olympiacos?
it was Olympiacos. West
Oh,
Ham before, and
oh,
then
okay.
Roma before that.
Gotcha. Gotcha. Well, yeah,
Yeah.
Atalanta won the Europa League this past year. They beat Leverkusen, who's the other team that I think will be a letdown. Um, they've already
Oh wow.
started off not too great in the Bundesliga,
Mm.
and I think it's just like, the normal ebbs and flows of a team that's super hot out of nowhere is just gonna be cold at some point. And
Yeah.
unfortunately for them, they were hot all of last year. So it's going to be really hard to get back to that point again.
Yes.
So those are my main letdowns. Obviously, like, dude, I don't have expectations for Club Bruges. Like, I don't know.
Well, it'll be interesting to see because you talked about there being a lot more of like a competition balance. So like,
Yeah.
do you think like one of these countries that has like one team in it, like, do you think that some of those teams could
Oh
like at
yeah,
least
dude.
maybe
There's
one
so many
sneak through?
places. Like, there's so many spots. You've got
Yeah.
so many opportunities to make it. Like, a team that's at least I think could be competitive in here. Salzburg is a team that could certainly be competitive here. Celtic, obviously last year didn't go their way in the Champions League group stage, but like they're a team that could compete. PSV to me is probably the best candidate out of the countries that don't have a lot of teams in here. Obviously, they have Feyenoord as well, but I think PSV and Feyenoord for that matter could both make it at least to the playoff stage. They're probably not going to auto qualify for the round of 16,
Yeah.
but teams like that have a chance.
I agree. Yeah, for sure.
Okay. Anything else we want to talk about? Any like players we think might stand out here in the Champions League stage?
Hmm.
I'm looking.
Probably Oscar Bob.
Yeah, I was literally about to say Man City player as well. I'm thinking Phil Foden's got to show up somewhere.
Yeah, probably. Um,
um, Jude
what if
Bellingham.
this is like Harry Kane takeover?
Could be. See, I'm not like that high on Bayern. I didn't put them as
I'm
my
not either.
guaranteed top 8.
Yeah.
I could definitely see them coming in the top 8. They could fucking, like I said, they could finish first. Like I don't know.
Yeah.
Bayern is so
I
weird
would
year over year how they change,
they are.
and I don't trust
I would
Vincent
like to
Company.
see. No,
Sorry,
I don't either.
I just
No,
don't.
no, you're good. I would like to see Juventus, I think, have a really good tournament.
Me too.
I think it's cool that they're in here. They're, Thiago Motta is a great coach. He proved it at Bologna. I'm just excited for them. Well, pretty excited. So,
Yeah,
yeah.
I'm very excited to see what Juventus has to offer. But yeah, the league phase, so hard to remember that that's what it's called now. The league phase starts actually, yeah, next week. So
No way.
yeah,
Already?
yeah, Tuesday. You've got
Wow.
Juventus PSV, Young Boys versus Aston Villa, Bayern Munich versus Dinamo Zagreb, Milan versus Liverpool, one of the matches we pointed out last week. Real Madrid versus Stuttgart, Sporting Lisbon versus Lille. That's all on Tuesday. And then on Wednesday, you got Bologna, Shakhtar, Sparta Praha versus Salzburg, Club Brugge versus Dortmund, Celtic versus Bratislava, Man City versus Inter, and PSG versus Girona. Oh, and there's matches on Thursday. Holy shit. You got Red Star Belgrade versus Benfica, Feyenoord versus Leverkusen, Atalanta versus Arsenal, Atletico Madrid versus Leipzig, Monaco versus Barcelona, and Brest versus Sturm Graz.
Damn. So you're telling me we have Champions League in less than a week?
Correct. And we've got
That's
3 days
awesome.
worth of it. We have 18
Yes.
matches next week
In 3 games?
in 3 days.
3 days? Sorry.
18
Yeah.
matches,
Oh. 18 matches in 3 games. Got it.
3 days. Yeah, and then 2 weeks later,
Uh,
we get right back to it. But only 2 days, but we still have 18 games. All right.
sick.
I believe it is that time. That time, referring to questions time, as we do every single week here. It's questions time. Another piece of fucking soundproofing just fell off the wall. So there's 12 pieces of this soundproofing. Now that we're into questions time, we can just talk whatever we want.
Yeah.
um, there's 12 pieces of soundproofing that I put on this wall. And I had 60 adhesive dots. There's probably 40 pieces of adhesive on that wall right now. And they're not small. There is 6 pieces of soundproofing on the wall. They were all up there before this episode started.
Oh, man.
But luckily, there's a package of 52 of them. 50 of them at the front door right now that came with the
Yeah.
right adhesive dots. So it should
There
be
you go.
settled. Maybe the audio quality will be better in here as well. So it helps you guys out too to hear me complain about this.
Awesome.
All right. Time to get into the questions. Shout out Nathan once again for getting these questions in before I even had to say anything. So I get to read the title because it seems like he's going for some rhymes now. So last week it was rain or shine, blah, blah, blah. This time it's lemon or lime, which I'm so glad I somehow figured that out, or I certainly would have had a colorblind moment here and said lime or lemon. But it's lemon or lime, neither. It's questions time. What is the best sunflower seed flavor? I already know mine, so I'll let you.
Yeah, ranch.
Dill pickle. I used to get
Ooh.
have a raw side of my mouth. Both sides of my mouth were raw from eating dill pickle sunflower seeds at
It's the
all
right way to do it.
times. I used to go to Dollar Tree when everything was still $1. I could buy a normal size bag of I think it was Big's Vlasic dill pickle flavor sunflower seeds, and I would buy like
Yeah.
8 of them, and that would
Wow.
last me a week. I was killing sunflower seeds for a long period of time.
Yeah.
Also, don't sleep on those Takis ones.
Never tried 'em.
Takis ones are not bad.
Okay.
And of course, a good cracked pepper is always nice to spice things up a little bit. Cracked pepper, not a bad
Okay.
option.
Don't they have
Um,
that guy that like sits around like training camp
yeah, that
or spring
annoying ass
training?
dude.
Sorry.
Yeah,
Yeah, he has one that seems
smacking.
pretty good. I think it's like a garlic parm one.
I'm sure it's fine. He's also got like a churro
Yeah,
one or something. I don't know.
yeah,
He
the
annoys the
churro
fuck
one.
out of me. He really does. He just like stands there. He's like, "You
Yeah.
want to try some seeds?" There's one brand of sunflower seeds I've ever bought online, and it was Chinook Seedery. Those are gas. Those are really good.
Never even heard
They're
of
just
that.
high quality, honestly. Also, for the
Okay.
longest time, I had this thing called a seed sack that I'd seen on like some Instagram, like baseball page that I followed that always just posted sponsored content, and it was like a little like leather bag essentially with a metal like clasp that was like magnetic, and you would
Yeah.
pinch the sides and it would open it up. You'd pour the seeds in your mouth and then you'd let go and it'd close the bag.
Wow.
Yeah. And it had like my name and like 44 on it.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah. I bought it with a prepaid gift card that somebody gave me because it was like $20.
Sick.
Yeah. I was obsessed with sunflower seeds. Um, I like this question. I'm going to be interested for your answer. Did you grow up decorating your house for Halloween and Christmas?
Oh yeah. Yes.
So, Christmas, yes, for the most, but we didn't go all out. Like every now and like for a couple years, we had like an inflatable, and like we'd put some lights on the outside of the house.
Mhm.
Halloween, we never really did much decoration, at least. Definitely not inside the house. We would put some, pumpkins outside. That was it.
Yeah.
We carved pumpkins every year, but that was it for Halloween.
Dude, we went all out throughout my childhood. Like we had a tree at the bottom of the driveway that we put like white lights in. There was a tree at the top of the driveway that we put like colored lights in.
Hmm.
We would do the deck in lights, the garage doors in lights. We would have like a Christmas themed like light up like snowflake,
Nice.
like a Santa Claus, like on each window of the front of the house, and
Yeah.
then obviously Christmas tree lights inside the house, little village inside the house. Oh man,
Jesus.
those are core memories right there.
Yeah.
I
So
love that
so
stuff.
we definitely had a Christmas tree growing up, and we'd always go and get like a natural one every year. Um, but also like we're half Jewish household, so it wasn't as important.
Yeah,
And then like as I got older, like just stopped getting Christmas trees, or like my
yeah,
mom and grandma have like pre-made ones, not pre-made, whatever,
yeah,
permanent, I guess would be the term. Um, but like, yeah, I'm not a huge fan of decorating,
yeah.
in my opinion. Dude, I've been living here for 4.5 months or so, like 4 months, and I still haven't finished decorating my room. And
Yeah,
that's gonna be like permanent. Like, that's gonna be there for a while.
yeah.
I
Um,
I certainly can't commit to decorating for fucking Christmas. What you like
No.
what like especially Halloween. Halloween's the one that gets me because it's like there's only a week where it's appropriate to have your Halloween decorations up.
Yeah.
Like the week leading up to Halloween, sure, you can have your decorations out. It only matters for one night and then it's over.
I would I would say October 1st you could have Halloween decorations up.
But like you can't go all
I
out
don't think it's too
October
long.
1st. You could like
No.
put a couple things out, but like you got to wait till like October 20th to really go all out.
Definitely. Yeah.
Whereas like
I actually
Christmas by Thanksgiving, you could be in a fucking winter wonderland driving through some
yeah.
neighborhoods.
Yeah. Yeah, the day after Thanksgiving is usually when we like to do it.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
but I have a funny story about a Christmas tree.
Please.
So, when I was a baby, this is the first and only time my parents ever had a real tree
Mm.
in the house. So, they put up the tree, it's all decorated, and we were all hanging out in the living room. Of course, baby Luke was hanging out in the living room,
Yeah.
so I was unconscious still. Um, my parents noticed that there was like light reflecting off, like kind of weirdly, like in midair, and they got closer and they realized that there were hundreds of tiny spiders that had made webs from the tree to like the ceiling, and they just picked that shit up, threw it outside, and they've never had a real tree ever since.
That's just fucking crazy.
Yeah, it's
I've
terrifying.
never heard of that happening.
Uh-huh.
That is scary.
Yeah, it's terrifying. I would not have been able to survive.
Never
like
had that issue. Like I remember like we'd put the Christmas tree up like sometime early December and like I remember like getting up in the morning, like each morning like my parents would make me like put water in the bottom of the natural tree.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
Huh.
You gotta take care of it if you're gonna buy it more than a week before Christmas, or it's just gonna die.
Yeah.
And
That's
then you're
true,
just gonna
yeah.
have needles all over your floor.
Just a mess.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I hate it. Because I hate
Wow.
cleaning
That was
it
a good-
all up. I don't
Yeah,
mind going
the
out and putting
un-
it up. I hate the whole
Yeah.
process of taking it all down.
Yeah, because then you're just sad. It's January. There's nothing going on.
Yeah, what? The NFL playoffs is like the only thing going on. Oh, I guess now, college football playoffs going in, NFL
Yeah,
playoffs going
that
on.
is true.
That's kind of nice, but I'm sure you weren't even thinking about sports when you said that. But that's just how I operate.
Yeah, I was not thinking about sports. I was thinking about the holiday season.
Yeah, yeah.
So,
I only think about
um,
sports, unfortunately. Well, not for me, for others.
yeah.
Yeah,
Good question, Nathan. Shout out, Nathan.
that was a
for
good one.
That was good.
I like this question as well. If you had enough money to upgrade anything you own to the best version possible, what would you upgrade?
Oh,
I already know
wow.
my answer. It's this studio. Easily. That would include my
I'd
PC
probably-
and everything, cameras, all that.
I would get a new Mac for sure.
Yeah.
Just a brand new fucking
MacBook Pro.
megabyte eater MacBook.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, I think if I could just upgrade the studio, that'd be awesome. Make it bigger for sure would be nice.
Yeah.
Maybe actually black walls instead of black top sheets. In case anybody didn't know that, these are just black
Hey, it
top sheets
works.
that are thumbtacked to the wall. But yeah, it would definitely be this room because it would make a lot of things more more opportunities for me to do things with and make
Dude,
things
just
a lot
wait
easier.
until we get a green screen and we can act like Saudi Arabia genuinely bought us out.
It might take them doing that for me to get a green screen
Yeah.
because they're also gonna have to give
That
us
is
an
true.
editor because I'm not doing that. Editing a
Yeah.
green screen sucks. So fuck that.
I wouldn't even know where to start.
Yeah, I would
With
assume
that,
probably
yeah.
Adobe After Effects if I had to guess. All right.
Further than I would have gotten.
Yeah. Has your World Series favorite changed recently? The little amount that I've even been thinking,
Ooh.
like I haven't even been thinking about baseball. It's that
Yeah,
bad.
going into the season, I was really sure it was going to be that team on the south side, but they're horrible.
Yeah.
No, I don't even. Who was my World Series favorite?
I have
don't
no
even
idea.
remember.
I would assume I probably had Braves. Somebody, Orioles.
I probably
maybe?
picked the fucking Mariners or something stupid like that.
I certainly could have. I might have said the
Um,
Twins or the Royals. I have no idea.
The Tigers, maybe?
I don't think I picked the Tigers.
Uh,
It could have been the Twins. I might have said Twins Braves. I have no idea, but it's certainly changed.
yeah.
I don't
Yeah,
know to
I
who, but it's
really
not either of them.
Yeah, like, I don't know. I think the bigger question is, like, is there a World Series favorite right now?
Probably the Dodgers
But
or the Phillies. The Phillies, I think, have the best record in the AL.
yeah, the Phillies.
Here, I'm pulling up the standings right now.
Yeah, I need to look at the standings myself because I'm kind
Yeah,
of
best record in
lost.
baseball right now is the Phillies, and then the Dodgers, and then the Yankees, then the Guardians. You know what? I think my World Series favorite now is the Brewers.
Okay.
I really like the Brewers.
Yeah. Can we just there is absolutely no way that the Mets are ahead of the Braves right now.
They sure are. Just shut up.
Have I
Shut up.
just noticed that? Why are they 80 and 66?
Because Francisco Lindor.
Grimace.
No, it's not Grimace.
Yeah.
Francisco Lindor
Uh,
has opened some windows for them.
that's wild.
Yeah. Mine's the Brewers.
Fuck. I'm still saying the Yankees.
All right. What 3 players do you think are going to get their get back in week 2?
Ooh. Travis Kelce needs to.
I like
I'm
that.
begging him to.
I think Isaiah Likely. He's getting it back in blood
Yeah.
against the Raiders, dude.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Isaiah Likely.
Um,
Christian McCaffrey. Fuck. I mean, he didn't get to play.
I don't know if he's playing.
Are you kidding me?
I'm not kidding. I already saw things saying that he might not play. I'm gonna say Joe Burrow.
Yeah.
Fuck
Joe Burrow's a good one.
it.
Yeah.
Even though they're playing the Chiefs.
What about Brandon Ayuk? Coming off of 2 receptions?
Yeah, he could definitely get his get back against the Vikings. We go with Drake London. Drake London's gonna get his
Yes.
get back against
Drake
that
London
Eagles
for
secondary. Can't really think of any other Kirk Cousins. I'm just gonna name all the Falcons players on the offense.
sure. Give me Brian Thomas. He wants his get back.
You got a touchdown.
He needs more targets though.
I think maybe Terry
Okay, fine.
McLaurin.
Marvin Harrison.
Okay, yeah,
Terry
that makes
McLaurin.
sense. Yeah, Marvin Harrison's a good choice. Okay, last thing. Will the longest field goal record be broken this season? It could have been. It could have been fucking week 1 if they'd have just let Brandon Aubrey kick.
That made me so fucking mad.
Me
It's
and
like
Colin
you have
watched
4
it live.
seconds.
We were seething.
4 seconds left on the clock. That ball, fuck it if it gets returned, okay?
Yeah.
This isn't Auburn, Alabama.
Who cares?
Time would have expired, and you guys probably would have tackled him. It probably would have been Brandon Aubrey that made the tackle, but he could have made that field goal. You can't tell me anything different.
100%.
They should have let him kick it.
He should have gone out there and kicked it. That was dumb.
Yes.
And then you got nothing out of it. It's not like you pulled off some amazing Hail Mary.
Who, speaking of kickers, who was that guy that the Lions started that, like, nobody had ever heard of before? He's like an undrafted rookie.
Oh, yeah.
Who the fuck was that guy?
Can't
Because I
remember his
saw
name.
him, and I was like, who is this guy?
Yeah, I can't remember his name, but I know what you're talking about. I'm pulling it up right now.
Okay.
It was Jake Bates. Was kicking
Jake
for the
Bates.
Lions.
Yep.
Yeah, undrafted kicker out of Arkansas. Looked fine. I wouldn't say he was great. His long was only 32. Yeah, Brandon Aubrey, he's got the leg for it. I said it. He's probably the best kicker in the league. He was perfect last year. So it's certainly.
Jake Moody had a good game too.
Yeah, Jake Moody could definitely do that as well. Justin Tucker still exists. He could always break his own record again.
You know, the thing is with Boswell, which is weird, like I'm biased towards him. Really accurate, but honestly, like kind of a shaky leg when it comes to power.
Yeah, he's not
like
a
I would never
60-yard
count on
guy.
him to break the record. No, he's not.
No.
But boy, from 57,
Yeah, same with Kai Fairburn. Kai Fairburn kicked like
Yeah.
350-yarders in a row.
Wild.
Yeah. Also,
Wild,
it's
wild.
it's pronounced Fairbairn, and I've just never cared to say it that way.
Sounds like you're illiterate. Fairbairn.
Yeah,
Weird.
see, that's what I'm saying. It doesn't sound right.
Yeah.
All right. Do you want to talk about Uncle Shay Shay?
Honestly, I was kind of joking. I don't really know what there is to say. I like that he's not getting punished for it. Like, if it's an honest mistake and it didn't show anything explicit, like,
I do
like
love
that.
I love the first instinct being like, it got hacked. My team's working vigorously on it. Vigorously as well. It's the funniest word to use.
No, Shannon, you're trying to finish.
Yeah, vigorously.
Vigorously.
Yeah, no, that was that was hilarious.
Man.
Absolutely.
But you know what?
Hilarious.
In the end, he owned up to it, and Ocho had his back on the podcast.
Yeah,
so.
look, we're not
like
going to
that.
shame some guy for having sex.
Oh.
So, I'm cool with it. I don't care.
Yeah, I'm chilling.
If anybody's mad about
fine.
that, they're insane.
Yeah, for real.
Like you got to be a huge incel if you're mad about Shannon Sharp having sex. He's a grown-ass man who played in the NFL, bro. He's a Hall of Famer. Of course he is.
Yes.
That's Unk, bro. Of course
I
Unk
love
is,
Shannon.
bro. Yeah.
Love Shannon.
Okay.
Needs his restitution.
Get her ice pack. That shit was so funny, bro. Saying get her an ice pack. It's crazy. All right. That is, what a roller coaster of an episode. Super fun time. I think we gave...
Very high octane.
Yeah, I think we gave it our all today. So, in return, what you should do is hit that subscribe button, turn on those post notifications, comment, like, do all that stuff on the podcast platforms. Rate 5 stars. Give us a follow, unfollow, refollow if you've already done it again. Rate 5 stars again if you've done it already. If you want to follow us and keep up to date with everything going on social media, Instagram is the place to be. If you want to submit your questions for questions time to be answered, just like all of Nathan's questions right here, submit them by 5 o'clock on Thursdays, right there below Luke, r/2nd, short. Perfectly aimed there, Luke. And then when you're done with all of that, go watch the Second and Short College Football Show. First ever episode.
Yes.
Ahead of week 3.
Check that out.
Very excited about that thing starting up. It was kind of on the whim, just decided to do that. I came up with the idea late last week for what it could be. And then Monday rolled around. I was leaving work on Monday, and I was just like, you know what? I'm just going to put out an episode of that this week. Hopefully I can stick to the schedule. I really don't know if I've got it in me. I've got to be honest. But look forward to it Thursdays at 3. And if anything changes, we'll let you know. Just got to follow us on Instagram to know. All right, guys. Luke, anything else for the people before we get out of here? Sorry.
Nah, man. I just hope Aaron Judge gets it back together. No more Paw Patrol.
Okay. All right. Well, yeah. Well, if you're going to watch Paw Patrol this weekend, please don't, for Luke's sake. But otherwise, what?
Brock Vandergriff he probably is going to die on Saturday. Dude, I did not expect him to look that bad against South Carolina, but he is going to get his shit fisted.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Yeah.
Brock Vandergriff. Watch out, I guess.
Yeah. Don't even take the field, please.
Yeah. That's not going to end well. I agree with you for that, for sure. But otherwise, guys, enjoy the weekend. You got football right now as we're talking. Literally, football is starting. You've got plenty of football to watch this weekend. Saturday is it's not a great week in college football, but there's certainly games to look forward to. Another piece of soundproofing just fell off the wall. And watch all those NFL games. Come back here on Monday and listen to me and Colin talk about all of it. And with that being said, we are done here. Luke, thank you for joining me. We'll see you next week. I will see you guys on Monday with Colin right back here. We'll catch you guys later. Peace.